Welcome back to the Open Chest Anime Podcast with your host, the Anime Collector. And as always, my wonderful co-hosts, FDEM. I'm sorry.
Beard
what was it?
Also
Frederick
known as
Daniel
Frederick
Douglas?
Daniel Douglas, Norman
Maxwell.
or Norman Reedus. And our other beloved co-host, whichever one Brad selects next.
Reese the Panty Slayer.
Okay. Says our number one investor.
This is our number one overlord and master, Greenline 743.
Yes.
Thank you, master.
Do we need to start the podcast with that document? I feel like it's... Also, Augie's here.
Also, Greenline some numbers. If you check out my channel, there's a video that you requested that I made for you. So there you go.
Right. That completely invalidates our next watch club. So thank you for that.
You have no respect for our Lord and Master Greenline 743.
All right. Do you think the audience needs to be let in on this joke? Something tells me that it should happen. Because I think we're just going to meme about it forever and nobody's going to get the reference. The problem is I can't get that to load up. So give me a second.
We'll do it later.
Just give me a second. Let me... oh my God. Why? Everything has to go so slow. All right. So we got some follow-up stuff. Actually, a lot of follow-up stuff this podcast. So our good friend... Oh, shit. There's something so important that I forgot. Stall for a minute. I can't believe I didn't include... Stall for me.
Why
don't you
for you?
find the you know what? I'm gonna repost it. It will literally take me less time to repost that document than it would for me to find it.
I got it.
You have like a space between your mustache AC if you turn to the other way.
Here you go. Hello. Here is our wonderful, legal document.
I've got it right here. I'm doing it.
I'm already screen sharing it. Where are you at?
I've got it right here.
We're already screen sharing it.
Fight.
Alright, fine. Go.
Here we go. Posting it. Screen sharing. There's something like more
to your group.
Okay, let me... There we go. All right.
So what's with all the panties? There's probably an article later about panties.
Here we are. It was requested that I produce the proof of our limited liability company because someone doesn't understand the difference between memes and reality. So here it is, printed on legal. 8.5 by 14, so you know it's legit and definitely a legal document. Article 1, entity name and type. The great state of Arizona, under the authority of the even greater state of Texas, bestowed upon it under Section 38(2)(c) of the 2011 Internet and Media Act, IMA, under the lifetime authorization of websites and yearly establishment registration clause, the Internet Business Licensing Commission hereby recognizes that Open Chest Anime Podcast LLC, hereto known as OCA Podcast LLC, is the sole proprietorship owned and operated by the Anime Collector, AC, for the express purpose of, quote, generating watch time to forego loss of otherwise negligible monetization. Furthermore, this commission also recognizes the OCA Podcast LLC LTD co-op services provided by founding members Frederick Daniel Douglas, Norman Maxwell, FDEM, and Reese 2753, Reese's Pieces, in establishing the Blind Trust Patronage or Super Chat Fund for the nonprofit OCA Podcast LLC Foundation in its global effort to provide pretend human interaction a la The Truman Show for one Don Jobo Augie, Don Jubo the Grammar Jew, who was previously also a member of the multi-tens of dollars corporation until the Alabama District Court ordered his immediate resignation after his public embezzlement scandal when it was discovered that he was donating money to the Patronage Fund of which he was also a prime beneficiary. Citation below. This commission also recognizes the great and honorable Greenline 743, known as Lord and Master, as the highest contributing non-disgraced shareholder of the OCA Podcast LLC. On behalf of the Global Internet Authorization Licensing Board Commission of America and Space, This definitely real document certifies the equally real and not at all pretend or meme existence of OCA Podcast LLC as a real limited liability company. From the desk of the sole member of the Global Internet Authorization Licensing Board Commission of America in Space, citations following signing statement below. I do what I want because I'm the sole member of that organization I made up. Also, there's a citation here that takes you to the part of the podcast where Augie was embezzling and laundering funds. So that's it. These are the things that happen behind the scenes.
That's
My
the
very
scoop,
real
everyone.
document, you can see here, not fake, from the state of Texas, because that's the header I could find. Anyway, yes. So now we can jump into to things. So, our good friend K.W. Miller for Congress of the Florida's 18th District says here, as a bit of a follow-up from last week, we've got it. K.W. Miller saying, yes, dear leftists and liberal fake news media, you have been, quote, completely trolled by K.W. Miller the past month. You were given fresh meat, a shovel, and a rope. You jumped at the meat, dug your own graves, and hung yourselves. We knew you would. Hashtag KW Miller, hashtag MAGA, hashtag MAGA 2020. All right. We also have, well, that's the Twitter tab I opened for something else I'll get back to. Hey, Democrats and liberals, stop being pedophiles.
Okay.
Continuing. We have K.W. Miller leading the charge against child sex trafficking. Leftist-owned media companies, quote, openly covered up. Not sure how you openly cover something up. For the pedophilia-ravaged entertainment industry, Democratic politicians and Democratic politicians and other high-profile individuals allegedly involved in the, quote, cabal. Now, this is the point where he's getting trolled by his own followers who are producing very real tweets of his that he likes to forget about. Like, such as this. Well, first of all, I had to like this one. KW Miller led the charge by eating 20 In-N-Out double-doubles with animal-style fries every day for the last 3 years. And here's the person here. I thought you were the one who wasn't allowed around kids with this very real tweet. So what if I have been arrested? I already did my time, you leftist Democrat loons. I am able to be around kids again, so stop digging into my past and mind your own business. You deep state hacks. You black Democrats commit crimes 24/7.
Does this guy have a mental problem or something?
This is I'm not even gonna go into it. You weren't here. Another tweet, arrest George Soros. Another reply with one of his tweets. Come on. You could do it. Oh, you know what? This is a Google web cache. I might not be able to load that. I put some icy hot on my penis just to try it out, and now I'm feeling kind of strange. All right. Oh, and then the entire reason we're even covering this again is because there was one I forgot to show you guys last week. Here it is. Pikachu is a disgraceful symbol of pedophilia. Why do you think they release him out of balls? Very sick. Pokemon and Pokemon Go should be absolutely sickening. All right. Thank you for being here with us. Oh God, no, I forgot. I forgot the important thing. See, something incredible happened after the last podcast, and it's complete coincidence, but it's still hilarious. So we got a dislike on the last podcast. So I casually take a screenshot of it and tweet it out. I see you at KW Congressional. You're on notice. And I shit you not. 2-3 minutes later, the dislike is gone.
They know what the words on notice mean.
He doesn't fuck around when you're on notice. All right. All right. Yeah, I want to just address regarding the Very Real LLC document that I will frame. Greenline 743 says the fact that you took the time to make up that document is amazing. It's also the reason we're starting at 3 o'clock today. But it was worth it. Okay, so jumping in, if you guys would like to support the Open Chest Anime Podcast, you can do that through the OCA Podcast Patreon.
And you
if
can
you would
even
like
get
to
your
support,
own copy of the document if you back us at the $5 level.
Sure. I mean, I'll send you the PDF. I kind of need to clean it up a little bit because if you look at it, if you really scrutinize it, there's some discrepancies in the quality of the part that I scaled up super big with the Texas crest and all that. But I can buy that vectored. I can do that. We can make that something if you actually want it. I'll produce that Very Real document for you.
And if you get it in $10, he'll print it out, fold it up, and mail you a copy.
If you do $10, I might frame that shit and send it to you. Maybe. I don't know. That might not be easy because of the glass. I don't know. All right. Whew. Okay, so continuing here. If you want to support the Anime Collector, you can do so through that specific Patreon, which of course are all in the description. And a friendly reminder that for every dollar I earn through this or other means related to you guys funding me is another potential meme document I can create. Now, the problem with Patreon, though, is that Patreon has recently asserted that they own content creators' brand and content. Now, I did have highlights. Oh, I do have highlights. Perfect. Whew, I thought I lost them all. So this is the gist of it. By posting creations on Patreon, you grant us royalty-free, perpetual, irrevocable, non-exclusive, sub-licensable, worldwide license to use, reproduce, distribute, perform, publicly display, or prepare derivative works of your creation. The purpose of this license is strictly limited to allow us to provide and promote membership to your patrons. We will never try to steal your creations or use them in an exploitative way. Right. And that's why you've given yourself sub-licensing ability, worldwide license to use and reproduce, to distribute, perform, publicly display, or prepare derivative works of your creation. That's not exploitative at all.
I was going to say, that sounds like the exact thing that they want to highlight that they're going to do.
Yeah, so right here we've got One Angry Gamer broke it down. Let's review the highlighted passage. Specifically my highlighted part. Royalty free. Patreon doesn't have to pay the creators to use their content. Perpetual. This agreement has no termination date. Irrevocable. Users cannot terminate this agreement. Non-exclusive. You can license, sell, and distribute your content through their channels. You can license, sell, and distribute your content through other channels. Sub-licensable. Patreon can license out any creator's content. Worldwide license to use, reproduce, distribute, perform, publicly display. Patreon is allowed to make use of, distribute, or perform your works for their profit. Prepare derivative works for your creation. Patreon is allowed to create knockoffs of any creation made utilizing the platform. This means even if you own the copyright for your creation, they are legally entitled to create directly or through licensing any derivative utilizing your franchise. As insane as this is, everything Slugbox is the person from whom they got all this news, claims is directly stated in Patreon's policies. The reason Patreon is policing what users do offsite so vindictively is that under these terms, the legal argument could be made that they are a publisher, not a service. As a global company, by their own admission, they can be dragged into court over content violations in the nationals in which they operate. And guess what? They actually have been sued by previous patrons of Owen Benjamin and lost big time. So it has opened up a huge avenue for Patreon to have to finally address whether or not they are a service or a publisher. and it's going to get quite icky for them. So funding this channel is best through other means, such as super chats at the moment, or
Direct
the amazing, wonderful Stealth Weeb, which apparently I'm logged in, and you can see shirts that aren't actually for you to buy anymore because I took them down. Anyway, so I added 2, and part of the reason why I didn't finish Baccano is because I watched 5 episodes of this terrible show, Rent a Girlfriend. Also, yes, I see that you request 5 meme documents. You know what? As soon as the potentiality for them comes up, I will create so many meme documents. Now, I've also learned something, though. I figured out something pretty incredible. So I had a customer request an extra small size in this shirt. Now, the shirts that I use, you'll notice a lot of them are roughly around the same price, and then a couple of them are marginally a lot more expensive. Well, this is printed on the Gildan 64,000. And this shirt is the cheapest shirt I have access to. So putting a design on this shirt, if the original outfit is black, white, navy, or gray, like, it works out really well for me because I actually can make the shirt at a really good price and pass those savings on to you guys. The problem is that this shirt doesn't come in extra small. But I recently figured out, watch the price jump, right? So I can actually sell it on a different shirt at a different size. Now, what this actually opens up is the idea that I can actually take every design on the site. Theoretically, I'm not necessarily going to do this, but this clicks more for the podcast store rather than Stealth Weeb. But just because I've got Stealth Weeb up and running, I can kind of use this as the jumping off point to explain it. What I could do is imagine at the top here above color, it said type. And it starts with shirt. And then you click that, and there's a drop down, and you can select jacket, long sleeve, mug, phone case, whatever, right?
Hat.
We could take any of the designs, and we could actually put them on multiple things and have a very clean site that isn't cluttered the way Teespring is, where every single color is a different listing, right? So, I wanted to propose that information to you guys. If there's ever anything on the site that you would like in a different format, because it takes time to do that. That's something I had to devote like pretty much half a day to even figure out how to get the extra small in there. But now that I know how to do it, it's still time consuming, but it's doable. So if you guys are interested in any of the designs on a jacket or something, let me know, and I will see what I can do on that design as a prototype, and I can expand it to the rest of the site over time, depending on how sales do, because most of the time, not worth it. But for the actual OCA podcast store, when that becomes a thing, after I finally reach back out to Robert J. Woodhead to get, what's his name, Kenichi Sonoda, to produce that fucking
Open chest
logo, that's the word, yeah, then we will start moving forward in that business. But I don't know how that's going to happen with everything that's going on, because I got a call, was it yesterday or the day before? Doesn't matter. I got supervisor at work, so I'm going to be working peak supervisor from next Thursday, probably all the way through New Year's. Now, that's great because I'm going to be making almost $3 more per hour, but it's also terrible because I'm going to be working 4 more hours a week minimum, and I'm going to be working an extra day to make those 4 hours because I'm going to be doing 10-hour shifts instead of 12-hour shifts, but also because I'm going to be working from 7 p.m. to 5:30 in the morning. So that's going to be an interesting transition, and I hope you guys can bear with us. It's actually going to kind of revert us back to our old schedule, except that I won't be able to do the podcast on Thursday. I have to do it on Wednesday, and it's just going to be a pain in the ass to, especially starting this first week, because I'm going to be working probably through Monday, even though they weirdly tried to cancel my shift tomorrow, even though I'm full-time, and they can't cancel my home shift of 312 until, because I haven't even signed the paperwork yet. I have to go in and sign it tomorrow. So I'm still officially part of that shift. Anyway, So yeah, that's going to be a transition. So I hope you guys will bear with us through that.
So a question
Now-
for you regarding Stealth Weed. For
Yes,
the mugs, how big of an ounces are they?
it says right on it. Let me show you.
Oh, yeah, did my review help any with your shirt sales?
The review where you badmouth it half the time? No, it didn't.
I haven't seen the review, but I was thinking, wait, reviewing it, wouldn't this be a conflict of interests?
Yeah, didn't you learn from the Alabama District Court?
Wait.
So,
This is almost like, hey guys, there's this neat site called CS:GO Lotto.
I don't
Yeah,
run the
all right.
site.
so
I was not
so
paid.
here's the sizes. You can get an 11 ounce or a 15 ounce.
Can there be a image on the back side of the mug?
Yes, I can put two different images, but this mug has the same image on both sides because that's what customers that wanted it requested. Because previously I only had it on the side that you see the character using, which I can't. I don't know why I can't click on this. It's so irritating to be able to see a bigger image of it, like pop up right here. But yeah, I have it. I have it on printed on both sides of the mug, so it'll always be visible regardless of whether they're holding the cup in the right or left hand. Anyway,
reason I bring that
Go
up
ahead.
is the Hunter Association hat. That's got the
Could be a
Hunter
mug.
Association logo and the
Uh-huh.
Phantom Troop logo on the back.
Yeah, so
would that translate
yes,
over?
I could do that. The problem with that, though, is that hat, which I created specifically for you at the launch of Stealth Weeb, is probably one of the hats that I'm writing the line the hardest on in terms of products because it utilizes a logo that's associated with the show more heavily than like it's not the official like logo of the show. Like it's not like the Hunter logo, but it's a logo that is synonymous with it to a point where it's like I kind of don't want to go crazy with that particular one. Also, that one is one of the few designs that's not vectorized, so I'll have to vectorize it, which isn't the end of the world, but it's just not as simple as you might think for that particular one. But anyway, I could put this on a shirt or whatever. But yeah, let's move on because we've got oh shit. I have to damn. Unsuspend. Fuck.
While you're
Damn it! Right
unsuspending
before
that,
we got there.
I have
Go
a
ahead.
comment on the Patreon thing. Isn't there a semi loophole that you can take as a creator, which is don't actually post anything
Right.
to the platform?
Right, which is how it works for the podcast. We don't. There are like, as far as I know, there's no actual posts on the Patreon, and it's because the Patreon for that one is funded monthly. Monthly rather than per project, right? So the Anime Collector one, I post the link to the video
Do they
and
own
charge
the link
the
then?
post. What?
Do they own the link then?
I don't know. You know, see, the thing is that it's a dumb look at. I'm not concerned about Patreon owning my content. Okay, they aren't going to do anything with my content. Okay, I'm not worried about that at all.
The
Why I
Anime
brought it up-
Collector movie.
Why I brought it up.
Runtime 1 full week.
The reason why I brought it up is because it's opening them up to like heavy lawsuits, and they've already been sued, and they tried to dismiss it, but the court let it go forward. Right? They basically, it's not the same thing, but they basically tried to TCPA, and the court said, "Fuck no!" Right? Slap that down. Anyway, back to what we're doing here. So we speaking of courts. That's a great segue I just did. Speaking of courts, here is Ronald Toye the Fourth's Tinder. Now here's the thing: I don't have Tinder, so I don't have a login for it. I had never even seen it. Like I knew the concept existed, but I'd never seen it. However, I think we can scroll through his images. Fan of Tokyo Ghoul, looks like he's going to a con that day. Now here's the thing: he claims to be 20, right? That's the thing here. So here he is now. Now for your benefit, I've got this from the farms, where somebody who does have a Tinder account was able to see what it said. So it says here, Ron, 20. I love to be sweet to people. So if you are having a bad day and need to be complimented on your beauty, swipe right. For anybody who doesn't understand, the way that Tinder works is you're showing somebody who's in your area at a certain mile radius, and you swipe left if you're like, no, fuck, pass that guy, right? Or you swipe right to match with them, right? Damn, this bio sounds like some neckbeard shit, but for real. I hope all of you have a good day. You deserve it. Smiley face.
Oh God.
I
It's
also
in the
speak
bloodline.
right. I also speak Spanish and Japanese. Gemini. They call me Chunky Justin Bieber. So I'd like to be
Wow.
everything you want. So hey girl, let me talk to you. Winky smiley face. If y'all get that reference, 13-year-old me loves you. I love rock and heavy metal. Okay. Now,
If you like
Cringe.
rock and heavy metal,
Deep,
why in the world
heavy
listen to this?
cringe, first of all. Second of all, let's look at his Facebook, where we will learn. Can't believe I'm 16. I'm 2 years away from living on my own. This is crazy. Wow,
He
that
wants
was May
to get
31st.
away from his father
Dear God.
that badly.
Yeah, well, first of all, yes, but also not 20, which is why, you know, he's underage, shouldn't be on Tinder. There's like a barrier to entry of being 18 and all that. And also, 13-year-old him loves you, dude. That was only 3 years ago, buddy. I think you still are a big fan of the Biebs. Also, pressing hard X to doubt that he speaks Japanese.
Oh, it's
with the
obviously some weeaboo.
With the improper use of wa, because so watashi no namae wa Ron Toy desu. So he's trying to say my name is Ron Toy, but the thing is that
Is Watashi feminine?
watashi is sexless. It
Isn't
is
Watashi I?
it can be used either way. Yes, it's I, right? So he's saying I, and then no turns it into my, applies to ownership. Name, namae, wa is Ron Toye, right? But here's the thing. In Japanese, you don't write this wa with wa. You write it with ha, because it comes from, like back in old samurai days, instead of saying konnichiwa, they would say konnichiha. Right, and over time, ha, it's like it's a very specific place in the sentence. Just it's like instead of using the word is, imagine you use the word ease or eyes or something like that, right? You just pronounce it differently. Over time, it became something else, right? So this is an improper use that clearly he doesn't know what he's talking about. Although down here, he's using it properly. Anyway, enough nitpicking this poor 16-year-old kid. Who's already had the misfortune
Yeah, you're
of being
bullying
related,
children, Brad.
who's
How
already had
dare
the
you.
severe misfortune of being born into the Ron Toy family and lineage line of names. So that's sad for him. Now, I've got something here for you guys. Hold on a minute. So I learned something. I can actually link videos in here in StreamYard, so I don't actually have to like do that thing where I share the specific tab with audio turned on and it's all stuttery. I'm going to do something new that we've never done before, and I want you, the audience, to know, number one, if you can hear us behind the video, just out of curiosity, and number two, if it plays smoothly. So you guys ready for this? We got this one I've titled Ron Scared.
All of the stuff that happened with say Funimation and the investigations, all of the evidence that the public has, all of the evidence that has been brought forward from both yourself and from other means, it shows that Monica was the one that brought forward all of the complaints that led to Vic's termination at Funimation. That was the first one. Monica was the one that brought forward all of the complaints that led to Vic's termination at Funimation. That was the first one. That was the first one. All of this stuff that.
Sorry, I thought I had to click.
You have to
Okay.
manually unmute yourself. It looks
Yeah,
like.
so it said, I noticed that when I clicked on it, it said your microphone is muted while the video plays. So I assume you guys didn't hear FDM giggle.
No, I
or
unmuted
scoff.
myself.
Okay, cool.
Did anyone hear,
so it does
did anyone
work.
hear me comment on their forehead?
I had to add the laugh track. Come on.
All right. So no. Here's the thing. I want to share that one because that is, to me, that's an indication that Ron knows that this is literally all Monica's fault. I think it's largely his fault, to be real. But seriously, it appears to be a plan that she initiated, right? So when they brought that up, he makes his face like, "Oh, you figured that out? Shit!" Like. Now I've got another one. That's going to be a little bit more relevant and lead us into.
I need to interrupt you for a second. Our Lord and Master has graced us with $5. Dear God, I figured it out. Monica cloning Ron to take over the world.
That's his real fun.
That is not a successful strategy.
That's something Pinky and the Brain would come up with.
All right, so now we've got another one. I'm not going to play the whole one.
743 word is not gospel.
I am saying that he may have accurately predicted her plan, but her plan is bullshit. Okay, so I've got another one here. I'm going to cut it short because it's like 3 minutes long, and we don't need that shit for the punchline.
It's material at this point.
Right, and I feel like in the speaking up part, that is something that is a conviction, right? Like, for instance, I just got in a big fight today with my family because I posted about Black Lives Matter. I believe that wholeheartedly. I believe that people should have the right to express themselves, and that there's been a complete horrible treatment of Black families in our country. My parents decided to chime in on my Facebook page, and my hero, my dad, I had to block him. So when we go up about that, when you speak up, there's consequences, right? It could be a block of your dad. It could be a lawsuit. But if you believe something, what are you willing to sacrifice? I put on the line 300 grand. I blocked my dad. That's why we did it. I think that there should.
Okay. So, he blocked his dad.
Wow.
His hero, he said.
Wow.
Yeah, his hero, the one who married the abusive person who beat him with blenders. Ron Toy IV says, "Damn, my family is tearing apart. What the fuck?
You are tearing me apart, Lisa."
Apparently, every male Toye is named Ron Toye because, as we've established, Monica's cloning them all to try to take over the world, right? So this is, remember, they call Ron Toye IV JoJo. No, Joe, it's just opinions that are best kept silent because some people take opinions personal. Me, I don't care how others think because it doesn't affect me, and I don't care. Blah blah blah. All right, so yeah, this is all sad and everything. All right, don't worry about it, buddy. Big heart from Ron Toye III that he didn't go into his son's room and force him to press for you know how that works with him. All right, now, but we've got something here that's not quite good. And I don't want to say or even play the clip, but the link is in the doc. So on the official on the official YouTube channel of Ron Toye IV, Chunky Milk Ooh. He can be heard saying the following: "I'm a big truck driver, Trump supporter. Get me buckshot, shoot me a
bad
driving
word
down to kill some." Right. So if you have to block your dad for saying all lives matter, boy, is that why we haven't seen JoJo for a while? Is that why Monica says he only comes around a little bit, even though he supposedly lives with them? Is because Ron Toye had to do an in-person block on his son?
He just like put he made a little box for his son to be like quarantined.
It's like a smaller cage inside the cage he's in.
Oh my Cageception.
Okay. Also, if that wasn't horrifying enough of an update for this ridiculous family,
No more.
Ron Toye III, the one they call Toy, so it's obvious who I'm talking about. Someone in my DMs is shocked I have an OnlyFans account. Laughing, crying, smiley face. So I changed the picture from the same photo I use for almost every platform, since I don't hide anything, to Kiwi just to troll them. LOL. All right. Now, again, I have never used Tinder, and I have never in my life been to OnlyFans. So this was a big shocker to me to find out it's like a Twitter clone, and that you have a like people can. I had no idea. I thought it was like Pornhub crossed with Patreon, but apparently it's like Twitter. I don't get it. Right?
Well, maybe it's like the Pornhub Twitter.
I don't know, but he says, right? His name's @RonToy. He says, I am the fiance to the most amazing human on the planet @Realisms, which question, why are you putting Monica Real's Twitter handle in your OnlyFans? Is OnlyFans owned by Twitter? Like, if I click on this, no, it doesn't go anywhere. Like, if I were to take this and put it here in the URL, it doesn't go anywhere, right? Thank God. Because it means that Monica doesn't have an OnlyFans. At least not using that name.
Not a public OnlyFans.
Disclaimer, the things I say or the opinions I share are not always endorsed by Monica. Winky smiley face. Now, from what I hear, previously, didn't he claim there was a video on it? Now, there's not now. But he says, people are like, that's probably the most disgusting thing I've had the misfortune of reading. Is Realisms aware of this, or is she assisting, and what are the rates?
Israel?
I'm not shocked. I just find it funny. I'm sure if Vic had one, you'd be up in arms, though. Okay, so where's here the thread? I hate the new Twitter. To be specific, it was. Oh, it's JT wants to play. I think they are Chuck, but I wanted right. This Let's Player with 1,244 followers. Oh no, I'm sorry. They have 361 followers. Is Chuck Huber? Let's see if he uses the word derision. Then we'll know. Doesn't it's
with
not,
great derision. I have decided to make an OnlyFans.
Yeah, because he doesn't have. He doesn't have like a link to his clearly
LinkedIn.
Real Let's Play. It could be Chuck. That's the most reasonable understanding, I suppose. Now he says he thinks it's Chuck, but I wanted to entertain everyone with this hilarious situation. You like hot girls? Newsflash! Yup. Oh, I love this too. He said this is probably the most disgusting thing I've had the misfortune of reading. He's like, you should read the affidavit from Vic Mignogna, his ex-fiance, right? He's back at it. I don't do the videos. I made one because there were hot. Oh, okay. He means he made an account. Oh, thank God. I can cancel that deep fake.
We have to make that deep fake anyway.
Damn it. Okay. All right. I'll say it right now. I don't want to sit through hours and hours of cuck porn to find this. I imagine there's probably like a teen romantic comedy movie that has a scene where a character is in a cage, right?
Someone in chat,
way we joke.
Please
if anybody locates that, I will. My friend in the VFX industry just started a YouTube channel. He's gotten a lot of success already doing deep fakes. He deep faked Adam Driver as Snape in Harry Potter and everything. I actually saw that video before I even knew that my friend made it. So if you happen to know of any scenes, I've got the perfect the perfect Nick Rekieta impression of Rontoye impersonator with Frederick Daniel Douglas, Norman Maxwell over here, to do the audio, and I can deep fake the footage of Ron from the depositions and whatnot, which I think would be very funny. So we will make that happen if you provide me with that clip. Anyway, all right. So here's the thing, though. I'm pretty sure, like, this is my wild theory. How old do you have to be to have an OnlyFans?
18, I'm assuming, because everyone says OnlyFans, and that usually implies
tell me,
nudity.
Do you think that this was Rontoye III's OnlyFans, or do you think that tweet is a? Do you think that tweet was a cover-up because they found his son's OnlyFans? That's why perhaps he said, I changed the profile picture to the one I use everywhere. I don't know. If you ask me, I feel like maybe that's a cover-up there. You know what? Now, look, first of all, Ron, I know you spend the appropriate fatherly time with your son, but he probably shouldn't have an OnlyFans or a Tinder account. So I think you've got some work to do there, buddy. I mean, if you're going to take one for the team, might as well be for your own son, if that's even the case. I don't know. But moving on here. All right. Going back to Amazon banning light novels. So Faku here has a thread covering everything that has been banned off of Amazon that they sell. Now I can't show you all of it, so I'm just going to leave it here and tell you that it's here and move on, because sooner or later I would scroll down and see a nip or something. So I'm going to just skip it for now. However, Kinokuniya in Sydney removed 7 manga after lawmakers' child pornography complaint. So, the Sydney branch of the Books Kinokuniya store chain removed 7 manga titles from its shelves following a written complaint by South Australian legislator Connie Baneros. Baneros wrote that she was concerned that the bookstore was hosting, quote, child pornography material. I think she said kiddie porn books or something like that, actually. And called for the removal of, quote, these offensive books. But the letter does not specify the titles. So in response, Kinokuniya's vice president, Keijiro Mori, wrote back and confirmed that the following titles have been removed from Kinokuniya Sydney: Eromanga Sensei, Sword Art Online, Goblin Slayer, No Game No Life, Inside Mari, that one sounds appropriate, Parallel Paradise, and Dragnar Academy. Mori also wrote that Kinokuniya is communicating with the Australian Classification Board about the issue. In response to Baneros' questions regarding whether the titles have been removed worldwide, Mori clarified, hey, in terms of our action globally, wherever our stores are situated, we respect local law and culture and make ordering decisions respectively and accordingly. So sit your ass down, bitch. Right? No, I'm pretty sure that wasn't the inflection he gave, but I liked it better. Okay, continuing. Baneros belongs to the SA South Australia Best Party, the Centre Alliance's affiliate party for South Australian state elections. In February, Senator Sterling Griff from the Centre Alliance called for a review of all anime and manga currently accessible in Australia, expressing concerns about media depicting, quote, child exploitation. Baneros was Griff's former chief of staff. Griff used the series Eromanga Sensei as an example of media depicting, quote, child exploitation that, quote, heavily features incest themes, and stated, quote, many scenes are so disturbing, I just can't describe them. The Australian Classification Board responded to Griff's criticism at this time, saying that it is aware of the concerns involving Sword Art Online Extra Edition, No Game No Life, and Eromanga Sensei Volumes 1 and 2. Yeah, but it's all right, though, because Volume 3 is completely wholesome and smut-free. The board rates content with the same criteria, whether it is live action or animated. In Australia, it is illegal to produce, possess, or distribute pornography or abuse material. I don't know what the difference is between pornography and abuse material, depicting a person under the age of 18. So I'm guessing that that house that John Podesta and his brother have probably isn't located in Australia. In 2008, a New South Wales Supreme Court judge ruled that a pornographic cartoon depicting characters from The Simpsons was child porn. Right. That's the logic that judges use. Under Japan's current child pornography laws, fictional depictions such as anime and manga are exempted from the law. Okay.
He's cocked. Quick, let's go to pickups.
Where's it? There it is.
There we go. Reese, focus on you.
I'm trying to figure out. There they go.
First
Go.
off, I got Ride Your Wave.
Ride your wave.
Yeah.
Well, eventually, I'm gonna have to just get a second computer in here and stream off of one of them and do the actual podcast stuff for the other one. All right, let me go back to here. We go.
Do you have enough? Oh, first off, do you have a PayPal, AC?
He
Yes,
definitely
because
does.
I'm a human. Okay, closing this tab carefully. There we go. Okay, so Connie Boneros, who you can follow on Twitter, and I would definitely suggest that you don't harass her or whatever, because I'm going to be like stepping away from the meme for a second. I want to be very clear about this. This can and will happen here. We joke about the anime porn infiltrated into the internet matrix and Dragon Ball Z and all that. That is going to happen here. Some crazy imbecile says it like 2 weeks ago, right? But it's going to gain traction because I hate to say it, but as insane and stupid as that guy is, half the other people running for Congress are even dumber than he is. And they're going to run with that and believe it is true. All right. So I want to be clear. Please do not harass these people, especially ones that are completely outside of your jurisdiction and don't matter at all. But acknowledge that there is probably going to be a proper way to do this, and it's going to be annoying bullshit stuff like having to go to the courthouse to like the what are they called, the hearing, not the hearings, what are they called, the public
Forum.
You know what they call, like they have the sit-in where they have like the community come together for those
Town hall meeting?
Town hall, thank you. Those kind of things. You're gonna have to go to that shit, express your concerns, point out how dumb people are in person, which is much more effective than doing it on the internet, where they'll write you off as being a Russian bot or some shit. So anyway, this is what she had to say. I congratulate Kinokuniya on taking such strong and decisive action. If this action helps stop one child from being sexually abused, it is one child we have saved. Together, we can make a difference. Burn books. # burn all books to save one child.
Yeah, but if it means endangering more children,
see that again.
that's worse.
Seriously, I have to go back to my point about Lolicon being a thought crime, and we will discuss this later on in the podcast as we discuss more Australian banning of things. What is that called? Seizing of assets. As you think, you know what? Let's give ourselves a round of applause and a pat on the back. We saved a kid from getting abused by taking away the wank material of the guy who's now going to abuse them because he doesn't have an outlet. Let's
You probably
give ourselves
wasn't
a
even
pat on the
using it
back.
anyway.
Yeah, seriously. Anyway, continuing here. No Game No Life, Clockwork Planet, Arrow Manga Sensei, all banned from Book Depository. So Book Depository is a Amazon subsidiary. These things have been pulled off. I think for some of them, there's only like a couple of volumes were pulled off, but the point is that stuff it's moving. It's in motion here, and the Amazon stuff is happening in the U.S. Continuing. No Game, No Life light novels refused classification in Australia. They are effectively banned. Volumes 1, 2, and 9 of No Game, No Life are not allowed to be imported into Australia. Now, if you read this article, you'll learn that the way that it works is the classification board, you have to pay to get something classified, right? And only
which is
things
probably
that need
why
to,
Discotech just does unraid for everything.
well, partially, but the thing is that for the classification board, you only have to get things classified that are sexual in nature. Right, so other things can squeeze by, but if anything has sexual content in it, yeah. So if something has sexual content in it, you have to actually get it like appraised or whatever. And if they refuse classification, then you can't have it in the country at all, according to this article at least. Now, continuing because we got a lot to cover. Amazing news: Shonen Jump manga artist arrested for ride-by groping 2 junior high school girls in Tokyo.
Wait, is it the artist or is he also
The writer.
Okay.
Oh, you're right. It says artist. It's wrong. He's the writer, not the artist. There's a separate person. Let's see. So the artist was Shiro Usazaki, and the person who was arrested is Tatsuya Matsuki.
I'm glad you got that before I went.
Yeah. So publisher and stage play producers issue statements. On the night of June 18th at around 8 p.m., a junior high school girl was walking along a road in Tokyo's Nakano Ward when a bicycle approached her from behind. First of all, girl, what are you doing out at 8 p.m.?
Yeah.
Number two. Continuing though. When a bicycle approached her from behind. Now, if you've ever seen Mega Man Upon a Star, or whatever that's called, they tell you that Japan is so safe that kids can be out after dark. Anyway, the man riding the bike came up alongside her, touched her in an inappropriate manner, and rode off. Now, when you read that, it sounds really anticlimactic. Like he just rode up real fast, stopped, and like fondled her a little bit and then rode away. I like the idea that he rode by and like smacked her ass as hard as he could or something like that, because I just think it's funnier. When I went to Europe when I was younger, when we were in Italy, like there's a big problem in European countries with pickpocketing and thieving and stuff like that. I remember seeing this guy riding his bike. I think there was a priest. Yeah, it was a fucking priest listening to music on like a Walkman or something. And the guy rides his bike and in one motion punches the priest square in the face and with the same hand grabs the Walkman and rides off with it as the earbuds yank out of his ears.
Wow.
So that's what this is living up to in my mind. That's why he has to be riding by at like 50 miles an hour for the ride by groping.
Stopping.
Yeah, like he has.
I'm amazed by that. You're able to do all that without falling off the bike.
Yeah, no, because the priest is like, nobody's gonna hit me. I'm a fucking priest. Wrong.
So were you shocked, or did you laugh when you saw that, or were you scared?
How old were you?
What do you think? Is that not the funniest fucking thing you ever see? The fact that it happens to a priest and you're like, dear God, you gave this gift straight to young me. That was hilarious. I'll never forget this moment forever.
There's your sign.
All right. That's when I came to know the Lord Jesus Christ. Sorry. That's the most blasphemous thing I've ever said.
Loaded Master has a question for you, AC.
Okay, so here's the thing. I think it's going to be I think that this has the potential to be the next push and pull. And what I mean by that is there are certain things. See, because government is largely about distraction. Hold on a minute. What's going on with? Did we change the backdrop to this podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, no, it is right.
It's Carol.
I didn't expect the red around it. Anyway, okay, so politics has this way of being a big distraction, and there are certain things that literally they'll battle it for decades, and no headway either way in any meaningful way actually gets made, right? But people will battle on it back and forth every single election cycle. And I just think that this is going to be one of those things. Just like when it's like, we got to ban video games for this reason or that reason. We got to do this for this reason or that reason. Oh, Comics Code Authority has to have this, and then, eventually it's like, well, yeah, then we just ditched it because, like, fuck that shit, right? We didn't even need it. Who cares, right? So I think it's going to be that. I don't think that they're going to make it illegal. I think that they will propose that. I think that some people will propose that. I definitely think it's going to be way harder for the United States to do what Australia is doing, right? Way harder because we have way better rights and freedom enshrined in the Constitution than Australia does. So anyway, I don't think they're going to make it illegal to own. I think that some anime, there are some things that I bought and haven't even watched, because I was concerned that if I didn't get it, I might not ever be able to get it. Because there are some things that get grandfathered in. Like, for instance, I own volumes of Berserk. there's a volume of Berserk that has an incident with a very young girl, and she's like, I don't want to say she's grinding on Guts' sword, but she's like straddling it in a suggestive way. And that's one of those things where, like, if you own that, like, because there's in Japan, again, the way that they talked about it in the Crunchyroll article, fictionalized stuff like that is exempt from their obscenity law or whatever. And so there are things like that if the US decides, like, after the fact to ban, ownership of certain material preemptively grandfathers you in.
So
sort
wait,
of like when they
is Dark Horse like not printing that?
No, they are. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying that's an example of one thing that when I was much younger, I looked at it and said, like, again, it's not. I wouldn't say necessarily that it is intended to be sexually stimulating, right? But like the adolescent mind of just being concerned of government censorship said, yeah, I should own this. So like I think I saw it in the store. I think the volume I have of it is still shrink wrapped because I saw it in the store and bought the shrink wrap one, so I'd have that deniability or whatever. Like when I own it.
What volume was it? You know,
I don't remember off the top of my head, but I've got it somewhere. It's probably, I want to say, like maybe volume 18.
Is this the girl that captures Guts and torments him?
It's like a one-off character in like 4 pages. It's not even something like crucial to the story. It's just something that happens and then it moves on, right? Anyway, but another example would be Kite. The uncut director's cut, like no cuts whatsoever version of Kite has a scene that at least the intention behind it was that she is underage during one of the rapes, right? But in the US version, I don't know if they just like put like some precursor text that says, by the way, everybody is over 18, right? Or whatever, as they always do. But the thing is, like, again, that's something where it's like, okay, you got to own this preemptively because this medium will very likely get censored as history repeats itself. Anyway, getting back to it, because we're getting way off topic and there's a lot still to cover on just this.
To that, it might see it depending on how education and art is defined by the government or in general teachings, but I honestly see a lot of this being more as animation technique studies, if you will. But
yeah, I mean, I read porn for the articles. that's that argument there. I read Playboy for the articles. Anyway,
that's all you do with it now.
Well, the point is that that it doesn't matter what your plausible deniability is or what you claim. If the government decides that they're going to ban something, if the government decides that you can't own firearms anymore, then the government is going to come after you. Right? When the government in Japan banned firearms, people don't have them anymore. Right? So in America, like I said, we had some very brilliant founding fathers who tried to circumvent and let's say tie up the hands of
future generations.
These types of lawmakers with the Constitution, so that, for instance, when they banned automatic weapons, like fully auto weapons in the United States, if you had them already, they're grandfathered in and you don't have to give them up, right? Anyway, so back to this. The girl reported the incident to the police, and after examining security camera footage in the area, investigators say they identified the attacker as 29-year-old Nakano resident Tatsuya Matsumoto. That name may not mean much to most people, but anime and manga fans will be more familiar with Tatsuya Matsuki, the pen name under which Matsumoto writes Act Age, a popular manga serialized in Weekly Shonen Jump, Japan's largest manga anthology. On August 8th, officers from the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department placed Matsumoto under arrest. Overall, there is no mistake, the manga author said in relation to the charges. I have to find out what the Japanese phrase he's saying is, because every single person says that. There's no mistake, it's me in the video, right? That's like the response they all give. So it's got to be like a turn of phrase that they use that basically, yeah, I did it, right? But translates to that because it's such a weird that there's no mistake, right? Anyway, the manga author said in relation to the charges, investigators believe Matsumoto is also the culprit in a second ride-by groping that occurred roughly an hour after the first incident at 9 fucking p.m. Girl, what you doing outside? On June 18th, in which another junior high school girl was the victim. Under the Japanese school system, junior high equates to the ages of 12 to 15 years old. Girl, 9 p.m. Why? Coronavirus, pandemic. What are you doing outside? Following Matsumoto's arrest, not to condemn her and say that he did nothing wrong. Clearly, this guy's a creep. Don't get me wrong.
You're on point. You are on point, though.
Following Matsumoto's arrest, Weekly Shonen Jump issued a statement through its website Twitter account. And this is what they had to say. We have received reports regarding the recent incident regarding Tatsuya Matsuki, the original creator of Act Age, which is currently being serialized in Weekly Shonen Jump. Our managing editorial department takes these allegations very seriously. Once we have confirmed the details of the situation, I mean, there's no mistake, appropriate measures will be taken. We deeply apologize for the distress this has caused all of our readers and parties connected to the incident. While no anime adaptation of Act Age had yet been announced, a live-action stage play was in the works, with the production's official Twitter account excitedly announcing the opening of audition applications on July 10th. However, on the day of Matsumoto's arrest, HoriPro, the play's production company, holy pro, the play's production company announced that its status is currently in limbo in light of the charges against the series creator. In response to the reports regarding the original creator, we are currently confirming the details of the situation. Well, I mean, there is no mistake, right? Once again, we will be making an announcement at a later date regarding the future of the play and the status of the audition process. We thank you for your understanding. Now, I'm being a little tongue-in-cheek about that. Yes, there's no mistake and all that shit, but the thing is that they had to talk with the artist, right? Because I think there was a possibility that they were thinking, well, can we salvage it? This is kind of popular. Maybe we could get a new writer. What can we do? People like it. What do we do? Anyway, unlike the majority of manga, in which a single person is responsible for both the story and principal artwork, Act Age is a product of divided labor, with Matsumoto writing the story and 22-year-old Shiro Usazaki, who has not publicly commented since Matsumoto's arrest, serving as artist. However, Matsumoto is listed for the Gensaku original work credit for Act Age.
Wait. So in the title it says artist, but in the article it's exclusively the story?
Yes, it's exclusively the right. Yeah, they screwed up here. The original work credit for Act Age. So Matsumoto is listed as the Gensaku, the original work. He's the original creator and writer of it. As he came up with the concept, basically, and then wrote it. And with the original creator generally retaining a larger amount of control over their work in the manga industry than other countries' comic publishing businesses, it's unlikely that Weekly Shonen Jump publisher Shueisha will continue Act Age without Matsumoto's involvement. Continuing. Weekly Shonen Jump cancels manga after creator admits to schoolgirl groping.
They canceled it.
They canceled it. Act Age comes to an abrupt end with the final chapter to be published 3 days after the author's arrest. It'd be a gross overstatement to say, quote, Japan is okay with pedophilia. But the Japanese legal system does seem to punish offenders far less severely than many Western nations would. For example, when Nobuhiro Watsuki, creator of manga/anime franchise Rurouni Kenshin, was found to be in possession of pornographic images of girls no older than 15, he completely avoided serving any jail time. Instead, he was fined a mere 200,000 yen. 200,000. Not 200 million, not anything like that. 200,000. Approximately less than $2,000 US.
200,000? Yeah,
Yeah.
$2,000. Yeah.
Yeah. And while serialization of the Rurouni Kenshin manga was temporarily suspended, it was restarted just 7 months after Watsuki's arrest. So when manga author Tatsuya Matsumoto, also known by his pen name Tatsuya Tatsuya Matsuki, was arrested last weekend on charges of groping 2 junior high school girls on the streets of Tokyo on a night in June, skeptics wondered if he too would get off easy after admitting to the accusations, since, like Rurouni Kenshin, Act Age is published by the company Shueisha. But while Matsumoto's legal punishment is yet to be determined, Shueisha, which publishes Act Age in its weekly Shonen Jump manga anthology, has shown that it isn't going to give Matsumoto a slap on the wrist and welcome him back. On August 10th, 2 days after Matsumoto's arrest, Weekly Shonen Jump issued the following statement on both the magazine's website and official Twitter account. Notice of cancellation of serialization for Act Age. On August 8th, Tatsuya Matsuki, the original creator of Act Age, was arrested. Our managing editorial department recognizes the severity of what transpired, has confirmed the details of the incident that led to the arrest, because there was no mistake, and discussed the situation with Act Age artist Shiro Usazaki. Following this, we have judged that it is not possible to continue serializing Act Age. I mean, it is possible, but you're not going to do it, and that's probably for the best. I mean, sometimes you have to wonder, like, wouldn't it be better to, if somebody, like, the punishment for the crime could just be, okay, so now we're going to continue that thing that you're doing, but you don't make any money anymore, right?
I mean, it could be that. It could also be, but at the beginning of every single chapter, you have to have a long, like a paragraph about your sins.
See, you know, the thing
for transparency.
Because if you did that, it would literally, because again, it's specifically in the way that Japan handles the manga creation and stuff. Okay, so you have to continue your story, but you aren't getting paid. It's like, well, shit's about to get real weird in this story, you know.
Well, yeah, you're gonna be a serious decline in quality in the story because he's not going to be paid. You want that? You want have that incentive of paycheck.
So funny, and in fact, I have to wonder if that's why so many anime in the mid 2000s go completely downhill in the last 3 episodes, as they give you the read the manga ending because somebody got arrested for ride by gropings. All right, so continuing here. As of the August 11th combined volume 2637 of Weekly Shonen Jump. That's weird. 2637? Did they mean 2627?
Probably 2627. That doesn't sound right though either.
3637.
36.
Okay. So as of the August 11th combined volume 3637 of Weekly Shonen Jump, we will be ending Act Age's serialization. We deeply regret that a series that has been enjoyed and supported by so many fans will be ending in this manner. However, we have arrived at this decision in earnest consideration of the social responsibility of Weekly Shonen Jump. We wish to sincerely apologize for the anguish and distress that has been caused. This decision is especially painful for Usazaki, but we will be working hard to support her in creating new works in the future. In addition, we will be discussing what to do regarding currently printed collected volumes of Act Age and associated events with individual counterpart organizations and announcing those decisions at a later date. As mentioned in the statement, though Matsumoto wrote Act Age, he wasn't the one drawing it. Instead, it was Shiro Usazaki who provided the art for the series, which began serialization in 2018 when she was just 20 years old. With Act Age rising in popularity while being carried in the first pages of Japan's most popular manga magazine, Usazaki's professional career was off to a flying start. So it's heartening to hear that Shueisha intends to help her find a new home for her talents.
Act Age is Shueisha is the magazine that this is published in?
Shueisha is the company that owns Shonen Jump.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. But, okay, so Rurouni Kenshin's the exception, apparently.
Well,
yeah,
well, the author is the artist for Rurouni Kenshin.
Yeah. So the other thing is that, yeah, well, again, that's very important consideration to make. Now, look,
technically, this artist,
but that would make it an even harder situation to get out of.
Purchase photos of the individuals, which
So here's the thing. Look, I need to phrase this extremely carefully. The definition of what child porn is very specific, and it's extremely broad. It's literally any photographs intended to give erotic stimulation of people who are under the age of 18, right? So they can be clothed, right, is one of the caveats there, right? They can be clothed if the clothing is skimpy, if the posing is provocative or whatever. That constitutes falling under the category.
That's
right?
High School DxD then, right?
Well, I will argue that
according to their rules.
Again, it depends on where you are, but I would argue, I'm giving you the definition I think that the U.S. uses. And I think largely, even though some courts in certain states have argued, I think improperly, I don't think that fictional depictions, like literal drawings of underage characters, shouldn't matter at all, because there isn't actually a victim in that situation, right? Mm-hmm. But the thing is that if you think about it, right, cheese pizza ain't going to get you monetized.
Let's call it cheese pizza from now on.
We gave up monetization a long time ago. So the thing is, though, like, see, this is what's difficult is whenever we read a story about something like this is in Japan, you can guess, but outside of Japan, you don't know if the thing they're calling child exploitive photos are actual photos of kids who are being exploited or it's lolicon. You don't know, right?
And in the case of The Simpsons,
right, it could be. Who knows? I mean, but in the case of the creator Kenshin, like, you don't know if the photos that he had were somebody actually, you know, engaging in legitimate sexual activity with explicit. Doujinshi. No, but you can kind of guess it's not doujinshi because in Japan he wouldn't be in trouble for that there so much, right?
Oh,
but I'm saying that it's hard to know because obviously the general public doesn't get a description and certainly not a depiction of what he was found with. So you don't know if what he had was like somebody actually performing, let's say, oral sex on a grown adult or something, and you don't know if what he had was some OnlyFans scantily clad photos of people who turned out to be under the age, right? So I think that your mind is going to go to perhaps a worst case scenario, and I don't know. Who knows what the Kenshin creator had? Does it warrant a $2,000 fine? Does it warrant jail time? Does it warrant death? We don't know, because that's the thing about these situations is we aren't given that information. So but I'm just saying that there are clearly. So what I'm getting at is that the law has a definition that is extremely broad, but in reality, you would have varying degrees of whether or not, like, really. I mean, it's kind of risque, but you're even going to fine him for that? You know what I mean? Like, for example, the Simpsons porn. Like, are you serious? Like, this guy's not even beating off to that. He's laughing at it because that's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, that's like if you were to lump all these things into the same degree, then everybody who gets trapped under that umbrella is a monster, right? And again, it's not to excuse actual harming of children. Absolutely not. Anybody who is responsible for that should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Absolutely. But what I'm saying is that we don't know, because the difference here, what I'm trying to get at, is that the act age guy physically assaulted somebody, 2 people at minimum,
on camera,
right? Well, partially on camera, at least for the one, but the difference is that with the Rurouni Kenshin one, we don't know the circumstances surrounding it. So if we were gonna give the extreme benefit of the doubt, you could say that some girl he procured nudes from some girl's OnlyFans, right? And she turned out to be underage. But
then again, like, OnlyFans would probably be liable for that.
You are missing the point. What I'm saying is that the amount of damage to the child at the core of the crime is greatly diminished if that child is the one creating the imagery. They are, like, literally in the U.S., kids who post photos of themselves, nudes on the internet through Facebook Messenger stuff, literally get charged with production of child porn if they are underage. That is an actual thing that happens in the United States. So what I'm saying is that if we go by, if you use your mind just to devil's advocate play, what is the least severe scenario that would result in him still getting punished because it falls under the umbrella of being illegal? That's the one I come up with. Some girl posts a nude photo 3 minutes before midnight on her birthday, kind of, you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. So what I'm getting at is that, look, there's another article. I don't know if they took it out of this one or if I chose this article over maybe the Sankaku Complex one covered it. They covered a little bit more about other people, like the creator of
AC.
Right. So anyway, go ahead.
Since you've articulated the point, can we move past it before misarticulation might occur?
I'm doing my best here.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm just saying that we don't actually know. Like, let me wrap it up one more time and say, I think we are tempted when you label somebody a sex offender, for example, it paints a picture in your mind that may actually not be, that may not
as
actually
bad as it's
be
described.
You imagine somebody sticking his hand down the girl's pants when you actually just bumped her in the chest.
Everybody has, whenever you think of murder, somebody has a preferred mental method of murder that they think of when they think of a murderer. Probably a gun for most people, or a knife. You know what I mean? When you think of a rapist, you have like that picture in your head what a rapist does. You know, so but when rape is also constituted as two people were drunk and one of them became unconscious during the act or something like that, then I'm just saying there's a spectrum through which we don't know. So not to say that I still think that this is absurdly low, even if why can't I not highlight? Even if the Kenshin creator it was like the smallest like degree of crime, this is still absurdly low, right? Or who knows? Maybe he cut a deal. We don't know. I mean, it's still absurdly fucking low. No jail time and only $2,000 cash for somebody who's as rich as him. It's an absurdly low punishment. But you don't know.
What's Act Age's guy going to be like $500?
Let's see. That's what I'm getting at. The last point. Go ahead.
Maybe the prosecutor was just so impressed by his ass slapping skills at 45 miles an hour. He was like, yeah.
It's like, well, we were going to give you life in prison, but the Guinness Book of World Records has paid your bail and got you a flight to a non-extradition country so that you can be featured in their Hall of Fame for fastest butt slap. Anyway, yeah, let's get through this. So,
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Maybe the fine will be more for this.
Well, the thing is that he physically assaulted someone here. You know, the crime.
Oh, so that's a different stature or whatever.
What I'm trying to say is that the crime in Watsuki's case, the Nobuhiro Watsuki, the crime in his case is that he procured something where the aggression or victimization of the child had already occurred, and the photo was a documentation of that. Right. So that child has been harmed in that way, even if it's just being taken advantage of by those sleazy guys on the street who lure them into a modeling thing and then have them take their clothes off, like in Perfect Blue. Remember? Then even if that's, you know, the extent to the degree of their victimization, they're still victimized in that way. But the difference here is that the Act Age guy literally like traumatized these girls by riding up on a bike and groping them and then riding away and seemingly escaping, right? So it's a much closer to the victim like relationship. You get what I mean? In that regard. So I think that there would definitely be a difference.
It's more direct.
But also, and this is the last point I was trying to get to before, is Rurouni Kenshin is wildly popular and successful. So fucking of course Shueisha is only going to give a slap on the wrist to Nobuhiro Watsuki, whereas the guy who's done like 5 volumes of Act Age is, you know, yeah, we could cut that guy and look like heroes, you know. You know what I mean?
Right.
So anyway,
if you're popular, you have a plot armor.
Yeah. Oh, so Seb says regarding the there's no mistake, Machi Gainai is probably what he started the sentence with. Yeah, Kenshin was also Jump and Shueisha.
Yeah, I used to think Jump and Shueisha were like two different magazines.
Seb says, when I opened the podcast, I thought the people that were on screen were this week's guests. Who was on the screen at that point? Oh, was it the...
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, that wasn't Ricada. That was the Knuckleheads podcast. But yes. All right. So continue. Also, sup, LR Wits up. How do I know you're not KW Miller? I don't know. All right. Anyway, all right. So back here. So when manga author Tatsuya Matsumoto, also known as Penny Natsuya Matsugi, was arrested last week on charges of groping 2 junior high school girls on the streets of Tokyo at night in June, skeptics wondered if he too would get off after admitting to the accusation. Since, like Rurouni Kenshin, Act Age is published by the company.
It sounds like he did it to get off. I mean...
But while Matsumoto's legal punishment is yet to be determined, Shueisha, which publishes Act Age in its weekly Shonen Jump manga anthology, has shown that it isn't going to give Matsumoto a slap on the wrist and welcome him back. On August 10th, 2 days after Matsumoto's arrest, Weekly Shonen Jump issued the following statement on both the magazine's website and official Twitter account. See, I'll say this about Japan. Their zero tolerance policy on some crimes, it's a miracle they don't have more KyoAni arsons. You know, because when you fuck up a person's life, now granted, again, this is a horrifying thing that he did, and he should be labeled, a sexual predator or whatever for it. But just giving you like another example of something less severe, if you were to take that into consideration, when you burn somebody's life down and make it so that they can't work ever again over something significantly less severe than what we're talking about now, it's a wonder that they don't bomb someplace. You know what I mean? It makes sense why there's so many suicides in Japan, Anyway, so here's the notice of cancellation serialization for Act Age. August 8th, Tatsuya Matsugi, the original creator of Act Age, was arrested. Our managing editorial department recognized the severity of what transpired, has confirmed the details of the incident that led to the arrest, and discussed the situation with Act Age artist Shiro Usazaki. Following this, we have judged that it is not possible for us to continue serializing Act Age. As of the August 11th combined, did I read this entire article already?
Feels like.
So it's mostly a recap of the previous article. But the bottom line is that they canceled it from Weekly Shonen Jump. Now continuing. Act Age stage play, Night on the Galactic Railroad. Yes, it's called that. I don't know why. Lance Powers is on his mobile account. Hey, man. Has been canceled in light of the arrest of the manga creator, right? So, now, but the thing I don't get is that they make this big distinction. Yes, we canceled the stage play and the audition for Kei Yonagi, the main character. No fucking duh. You're not going to still have the audition after you canceled the damn production. All right. Fresh news today. Act Age manga's final chapter won't be published in English.
Oh my god.
Damn it.
We won't even get bad closure.
Viz Media also removes listings of future compiled volumes. This week has been a tumultuous one for Shonen Jump, starting on August 8th when NHK first broke the news that Act Age writer Tatsuya Matsugi had been arrested for allegedly sexually assaulting 2 junior high school girls. Jump was relatively quick to act and cancel the series, a decision that was made after consulting with 22-year-old Act Age artist Shiro Usazaki. And the final chapter made its debut in the latest Jump issue on August 11th. The final chapter will not, however, be making an appearance in English. Viz Media posted a notice on the Act Age page saying that, quote, this week's chapter of Act Age will not be published. The notice then went on to link to the English version of Shueisha's official statement on the matter. In addition to not publishing the final chapter, Viz Media removed listings of future compiled volumes along with the earlier notice about adding chapters 26 through 45 after the translation is complete. It's a shame that the artist has to deal with this fallout as well. But it looks like this is effectively the end of Act Age in all respects. In Japan,
so what you're telling me is I should order that Act Age while it's still on Amazon.
No, let me show you this. First and foremost, damn it, why are you doing this to me? No, that's not. Okay, let me show you this.
I thought that's what we're gonna
do. We weren't on the same page, but now we are. Okay, so let me show you this. It is no longer available on Right Stuff. It's not available on Right Stuff. Sad face. But fuck. There goes my thunder. It is available on Amazon. And if you would like to support the podcast, there is a
affiliate
link
in the description of this podcast where you can get Act Age Volume 1, which you can get right now before they pull it. And you can pre-order Act Age Volume 2, which comes out September 1st, 2020. And
which is probably canceled by now.
Probably, but we'll see. See, as you can see, I purchased. See, what I'm thinking is, if we get enough people to actually pre-order it, maybe we can get them to not cancel all of them, right? And then that way, it's more likely that they're like, it's a lot of money. We're gonna cancel right now. So then there's also Volume 3, which comes out November 3rd. Volume 4, and again, they're all planned. You can see all the artwork and everything, which comes out January 5th. That's a pretty fucking huge jump from November 3rd.
2 months?
Yeah. And then Volume 5, which is made to come out on March 2nd. All right. So, it's not that expensive. It's about $10 a volume. It's $50 for a series that I expect to go up tremendously in value the more of them you have. So just throwing that out there. It's literally the only reason I bought it.
You should have bought two copies of Volume 1 because that's probably the only one that's actually going to hit the street.
Yeah, probably. I might buy another copy. It doesn't even look interesting. But you know what is interesting? The following article. Manga writer arrested for manga writer arrested for groping wanted to make a series, quote, stimulating for guys who like young girls.
Well,
each chapter would have focused on 2 horny junior high girls in a bathhouse. Now we are getting it. I hope you're happy, girls who reported him to the police. Seriously, the way I picture this is, remember when Winona Ryder was arrested for shoplifting? And she's like, I was doing that for a role. I'm a method actor, right? I feel like that's what this guy was doing. I had to know what their buttocks felt like at 45 miles per hour so that I could write it effectively in my story. Duh.
I just imagine Senran and Kagura, when they were making the Switch game, they were like, we're going to use HD Rumble, and we're studying the breast physics or whatever, and they had these like sacks or whatever in their hands, and they're like science lab for breast testing.
Right up until last Friday, things seemed to be going pretty well for the manga Act Age and its fans. After debuting in 2018 in the pages of Weekly Shonen Jump, the series had built up a respectively sized fan base, with no more than 3 months passing between the release of the collected volumes, the 12th of which just came out in July in Japan. Casting was underway for a live-action stage play, and with that much interest being shown in the series, an anime adaptation announcement in the near future wasn't an unreasonable hope either. Then came the shocking news that Act Age author Tatsuya Matsumoto, also known by his pen name Tatsuya Matsuki, I don't know why they are going to the great distinction to let us know both names in every article, had been arrested for 2 separate ride-by gropings that occurred on the same evening in Tokyo, grabbing a pair of junior high school girls before escaping into... What? Grabbing a pair of what? Butt cheeks?
He used 2 hands while on the bike? Impressive.
Before escaping into the night on his bicycle. Along with the brazen nature of the crimes, the incident was made extra shocking by nature of Act Age, a story about an aspiring teen actress. Didn't have a reputation as risque. Oh, okay. So it's being... Okay. The incident was made extra shocking by nature of Act Age, a story about an aspiring teen actress didn't have a reputation as a risque fan service laden series. That's a very poor way to phrase that, and I hope Casey Bass... I knew it was you! I hope Casey Bassiel proofreads his next article. However, a look back at a series of tweets from Matsuki from back before ActAge even got started has been raising eyebrows in light of his arrest. The thread from January of 2017 begins with, manga and movies about Sento, public baths, are popular these days. Are they really? Are they? Have they ever not been popular in Japan? So I thought of an idea for a new Sento manga. In each chapter, a group of junior high boys will introduce methods you can use for peeping at actual Sento that exist in reality. What do you think? It'd cause a commotion, wouldn't it? So where's the tweet that says he had an idea about boys who get away with groping because they're going so fast you can't get a good look at them, and then they're foiled because of course cameras exist. Though Sento have been having a bit of a revival in popularity in recent years, it's a stretch to have a blanket statement that Sento manga and movies, quote, were popular when Matsuki posted the tweet. However, there's no shortage of bathhouse episodes and peeping shenanigans played for comedy in anime and manga. But Matsuki's concept of setting the series in real-world Sento with peeping techniques to match is where things get concerning. And his next tweet didn't alleviate that. Research and verification of the peeping methods would be important. So it would be necessary for me to try them out for myself ahead of time. Basically saying, so I'm sorry, can we go back to like the police records from around this time at the different bathhouses? Suspicious behavior reported, you know. After giving it some more thought, though, Matsuki decides that the concept isn't very good, but not because he feels it's in bad taste. Instead, the problem has to do with real-world Sento user demographics. Public baths, as opposed to natural hot spring resorts, are primarily popular with older Japanese people. So Matsuki's initial concept would have ended up with junior high boys trying to peek at elderly, or at least not particularly young women every week. Now that I think about the ages of the people at Sento, though, I just don't feel all that motivated. You know what I mean by that. So instead, I'll make it about two junior high school girls who want to look at naked men. Wow, that sounds really fun.
What a twist.
What a twist, guys. They're making porkies. But wait, it's not just female Sento users who tend to be older, but male ones too. So by adjusting his story concept, Matsuki is swapping old women for old men, right? Yes, but here's one factor that he thought would make it worthwhile. Every episode
what?
Getting exhausted from the bath and taking a long drink of milk, a popular after-bath beverage in Japan. But the readers would get to see scenes of the two girls in the bath, so it'd be okay. The $4.30 US Sento admission cost is kind of a lot for junior high school students to have to part with. Really? And portraying this is probably something guys would have a thing for young girls. And portraying that is probably something guys would have a thing for young girls would find stimulating. Oh, okay. And portraying that is probably something guys who have a thing for young girls would find stimulating. There you go.
He used the stimulating word. Guilty.
Yeah. Again, the idea of racy comedy set in a public bathing facility isn't a remotely new scenario for anime and manga. And Matsuki could have just been making an attempt at edgy comedy or spitballing ideas he hadn't really thought out. And perhaps most importantly of all, he never did produce such a series. That's what you think. You don't know. I mean, I guess if he needed to find an artist, right? So yeah, probably. Okay. Either because he never formally pitched it to publishers or because they shot the idea down. But Matsuki's desire to write the story being galvanized as he realizes it'll be an opportunity to show junior high girls taking baths and feeling uncomfortable about having to spend a large chunk of their savings. It's particularly unsettling following his arrest for groping two actual girls of that age. Yeah, like I can't believe I'm wasting almost $5 US every night just to try to see some wrinkly old man balls.
That's like my whole allowance.
And failing. All right. So Muzan Kibutsuji's, or I guess that's this character Every one of these articles covered a completely different character that he voiced. Voice actor Toshihiko Seki tests positive for COVID-19. So yes, the voice of Duo Maxwell in Mobile Suit Gundam, Senketsu and Kyo Sensei in Naruto. Japan Times, quote, higher culture Japan. Acted like
you're breaking up pretty bad there, AC.
You can't even respond.
I don't know if he's okay. I'm not sure if this is on purpose or not. I feel bad.
Yeah, he's having a rough night with his connection.
So I'm going to leave the studio.
Yeah. So let's continue, Reese, if you don't mind.
Hold on.
Oh, there we go. Oh, now I'll get better, AC. Don't worry.
Okay.
There you
go. The Japan Times News. Agriculture. Japan acted like it had the virus under wraps, but now it's everywhere. Ooh.
I'm going to mute you. Why is Japan Times like illegal to show? Can you guys hear me all right? Okay, since I hear my own echo, I guarantee you hear me. Higher Culture Japan acted like it had the virus under wraps, but now it's everywhere, right? Because remember,
Uh-oh.
It's all because of the virus.
Japan identified more coronavirus cases on Friday than any other day since the pandemic began. They say things as such, quote, mobility has become almost like it was pre-pandemic, and so people in Japan just aren't being careful anymore. Or, it's because you basically built them up to believe that they beat the virus, that. So Japanese mouthwash is effective against coronavirus, according to a governor. I'm going to speed read this because I didn't have a chance to read it before. I don't know. Also, why does it look like their mayonnaise bottle? Like their mouthwash is not at all what I'd expect mouthwash to look like. Press conference sparks immediate panic buying across the country as countries around the pandemic without a current cure or vaccine. People are keeping their ears open for ways to fend off the virus should it ever come their way. So when the governor of Osaka held a press conference today highlighting the purported efficacy of Japanese mouthwash against coronavirus, shelves around the country were cleared of the product straight away, and his mouthwash stocks skyrocketed. Press conference, Governor Hirofumi explained to the media that a small study of roughly 40 mild or asymptomatic who tested positive for coronavirus decreased after gargling with mouthwash containing the mouthwash, which has a bactericidal effect, was administered to patients 4 times a day over a period of June to July. On the 4th day, 9% of patients tested positive for the virus on a PCR test compared to 40% of the patients who didn't gargle with the mouthwash. Okay.
Who don't swallow.
The governor points to the positive results of the study. This governor is very young looking. But then again, all Asians are until that age where they're ancient. Osaka preacher now wants to mild and asymptomatic research for hospital organization Osaka Hibikino Medical Center said a larger study was important as, quote, reducing the amount of virus in an infected individual's saliva has the effect of reducing infections among people at home. Despite the current limited study, Governor Yoshimura was keen to share the results with people, saying, if people gargle with this type of mouthwash, we may find the number of people who test positive for coronavirus will decrease. Yes, because you're killing the bacteria in their mouth. So when you go to test for that bacteria, it's not there, even though it still exists in their body, just not in their
test it. They don't test through your
saliva.
They put it through your nose.
They test through your nose to the back of your throat, though.
Wouldn't he promote more of the
nasal?
That's what the
gargling's for.
I don't know what you call it, nasal enema.
Why would they use your nose then if the bacteria is only in your throat?
They go way back. It's above your palate. It's above the thing in the back of your mouth.
The uvula.
It's above
I can't
esophagus.
say that it will cure coronavirus, but my expertise as a shareholder in all bactericidal mouthwash companies states that I can expect it to prevent the spread of infection in places where cases have been increasing. So the basic idea is that when you talk without a mask on, if you've killed the bacteria, then the droplets, the nanoparticular droplets that you spit out aren't going to contain as much virus, right? Mm-hmm. So here's one of the bottles. Like, that's so small. It's like a fucking energy shot. This brand of mouthwash is often used by people in Japan in the first sign of a sore throat, although many are known to gargle with it as a preventative measure during cold and flu season. Within minutes of the governor's press conference, Meiji shares jumped more than 4%, and stores across the country sold out of all types of mouthwash containing providone iodine. Told you. Gargle medicine containing providone iodine has sold out. Isogene, etc. Blah, blah, blah. The governor of Osaka has become known around Japan for his shoot-from-the-hip approach to politics, especially when it comes to communicating with public during the pandemic. He became one of the first officials to urge residents to refrain from traveling between prefectures and divided public opinion by leaking in a document that showed numbers of coronavirus cases for Osaka. While the governor has been quick to sing the praises of gargling mouthwash, Director Matsuyama has also told reporters that in some cases, the amount of virus in saliva may increase again about an hour after gargling. He also warned that gargling over and over again may hurt the throat, so he asked people to exercise caution. So if you're thinking of rushing out to buy mouthwash containing providone iodine, commonly sold overseas as betadine, be sure to avoid panic buying it like toilet paper, and don't forget to follow the advice of Dr. Matsuyama to not overdo it on the gargling. Oh, fuck you. I do what I want. Oh, okay. So we have a special segment here for our... that's great. I just doxed someone. We have a special segment here. Our resident Iowan to tell us about... hence the thumbnail, Weatherman Reese. Oh, damn it, I was going to send it to you so you could make it your avatar. I forgot about that. Now you're just...
all the panties fly in the wind. Come on, there's a bra in the air. Landed on my face.
He's blinded by science.
So tell us, give us a rundown about the storm.
I mean, shit.
That's a good rundown.
Monday morning. I'm just gonna tell you my experience about it.
Yeah. You're not
Monday morning.
You're not in Grimes, Iowa, like Right Stuff is, but give us your rundown.
Yeah, Monday morning, like I had an eye appointment for my one eye. It was at like 10:15. We left. It was nice and sunny out. Clear blue skies overhead. We could see some darkness off to the west as it was coming through, but I got in, did the eye exam checkup thing, got out, and because of the pandemic, they only wanted one person into the office per visit. So my dad went home. So I was just hanging out downtown. The tornado sirens went off.
Oh. Suddenly I don't want to move to Iowa anymore.
There's no tornadoes though whatsoever. We don't know why they went off. I mean, it was just really getting
presumably
really
they exist because tornadoes do exist in Iowa though. Enough of a reason for me not to move there.
But like the storm only really lasted for maybe an hour, maybe less. But like I went into the library, went down in the basement. And I could have just stood outside, but I mean, like trees went down. You had parts of buildings get blown off, like the building that you have in the thumbnail is. Shit, I should have thought about this earlier.
Hold on, I have to go get something from the front because my doorbell just rang.
I heard that.
Where is it? There it is.
Where's what?
As I was saying, the picture of the building AC has for the thumbnail is actually it has Right Stuff written over it. Where is it? There you go. Coincidentally, a couple years ago, Right Stuff. This building wasn't George's Pizza and Bar. It was like a thrift store called Right Stuff Enough for Us. Sean Kleckler came up here to do like a little skit on Facebook where like he went back in time and screwed up, and then this place was called the Right Stuff building. But the part where the brick is broken off is this section right here.
Mm-hmm. So
I thought that was kind of eerily coincidental that you used that for Right Stuff when Sean Kleckler.
That is pretty funny. I looked up the Right Stuff location on Google Maps. First of all, holy shit. Because I've been thinking about moving, because I now have all this super warehouse experience. I could totally work at Right Stuff. Literally, houses across the street. Fucking cross the street from their warehouse. That'd be like the greatest gig ever.
Right.
Go home every break.
Work.
How much do they?
Yes.
How much is the housing?
Like
$69 a minute.
150,000 for a house is pretty fucking good compared to where I live. But tornadoes, so like lose everything in one fell swoop. Don't want to do that. So I got something amazing that I wasn't expecting to ever get that just arrived, but I will keep you in suspense while Reese continues his.
So I mean, we got done. Hold on, how do I remove this? So, there it is. I got out of it. My dad just was at home. We lost power about 12:30 or so Monday. We didn't get power again until about 6 o'clock Tuesday night.
When you messaged that you were out of power, like I just thought that the power went out. I didn't realize you were in like the apocalypse.
Yeah, this was basically a hurricane in the middle of Iowa.
Yeah. All right. So shall we read what Sean Kleckner had to say?
Go ahead.
No.
And
it is way too long.
Yeah,
just to sum it up, people were mean on our customer service. To our customer.
Yeah, but he said some interesting stuff about. First of all, it's in the fucking thumbnail. We have to cover it now. So he said some interesting stuff about why it took so long for them to get back up and running. So an open letter to the community. Apparently, civility is no longer a thing, but it should be and needs to be. I hate to even have to post. Great job to post.
You're breaking up.
Like 2 or 3 emails.
See,
kidding me.
This is why we need to sum it up.
People were mean. The power was out.
It's a really drawn out way of saying people were mean, but he does say some logistic things like, "Oh, your order's not in stock. No reason being civil. Your order's not in stock." Well, a lot of our suppliers, because of blah blah pandemic, they're unable to supply.
So he talked about something right here that I wanted to cover. We had an unprecedented storm on Monday, and the whole office.
Brad, you'll have to get right to it once you come back in.
So it's the cut counter up to now.
Oh my God.
I left on my own accord. What is wrong with you? He said
we don't know that.
Storm on Monday, and the whole office staff spent. Everybody who's paying attention does. About 2 hours in the basement. Around us, there were 80 to 100 mile per hour winds, which created widespread. Damn, dude! I turned it off because it was causing the lag. The widespread damage in our area and knocked out power to our building. We still do not have power, along with about 250,000 other people in Iowa. What's a bit ironic is that many of our Iowa power professionals were loaned to the Southeast during this time to help with hurricane damage. No one expected a hurricane in Iowa. So anyway, yeah, it seems like they're back to, fully functional now. But yeah, kind of a scary time for them because, a tornado hits that warehouse and like the supply of anime goes out the window. So you better hope that they've got insurance on that and that all the companies decide to reprint everything. It'll be raining anime on your lawn though, Maurice. Wouldn't that be a sight?
All right. I'm a little bit too far away for that to happen.
It's Christmas. All right. So moving out of that, I think we got two more little quick things, and then we'll do pickups. Okay. Jiro Kuwata, manga creator of and Batman manga, passes away aged 85. So, published for manga creator Jiro Kuwata had passed away on July 2nd, 5. Kuwata was most well known for in the West as the author behind in manga in Japan in the 1960s, as well as the co-creator for one of the quote pioneer of anime, 8-Man. Jiro Kuwata was born on April 17, 1935. He debuted 13 Cluster in 1948 for Shonen Gahosha, which is still the youngest ever debut for the company. Age 13, bros.
Whoa.
After his father fell ill and lost his job, Kuwata decided to skip going to high school, and in his third year of junior high, moved to Yokohama just outside of Tokyo. Kuwata's first major hit was Maburoshi Tantei in 1957 for Shonen Gahosha, which was later turned into a tokusatsu series. More on superhero and sci-fi, Kuwata co-created series 8-Man with Kazumasa Hirai for Weekly Shonen magazine in 1993. Though before the final chapter was able to be finished, Kuwata was sent to jail for possession of a handgun, and 8-Man was canceled, with others finishing the series. Kuwata finally completed 8-Man in 19 alongside a sequel/spin-off series, 8-Man versus Cyborg 009, which is currently running in. After Kuwata prison, he returned to Shonen manga, which was released in the West in 2015 as Batman, the Jiro Kuwata Bat Manga. Ran from 1966 to 1967. In 1977, Kuwata retired from the manga and turned food around the religion. All right. He died of the effects of aging, not COVID, according to that. Or though maybe Japan is keeping their numbers low because unlike America, anytime you die and they can in America, if you happen to be in a facility where you may have possibly had COVID, you died of COVID. Continuing, we will talk about this after the after we do pickups. Who would like to go first? FDM, I'm volunteering you. Muted in M. Okay, I'm going to Don Jubo.
All right, Jubo. So no Jew. All right, first up is Ride Your Wave, which we've covered in plenty of articles in the past spring.
Probably going to get a limited edition. Not that I'm saying you should get it.
Yeah. I don't think it will. They would have announced it earlier on.
No, because didn't they just announce... what's that thing that went on discount that Brad bought recently?
Promare?
Or a Silent Voice?
Sea of the Chungus?
Sea of Chungus? Children of the Sea? Sea of Stars? I didn't buy Children of the Sea.
Children of the Sea. No, okay, what's that thing that you're like, this is dirt cheap on Amazon right now. You know why? Maybe it's Penguin Highway.
No, the thing you just got off of Red Stuff was Silent Voice.
I bought Penguin Highway not recently.
Oh, not the one that he has, the one that was announced recently. Which, yes, I think is Penguin Highway. All right, sorry.
All right. So up next is finally a not damaged Code Geass Akiko the Exile. All of its holographic.
Akiko is a lady's name.
Not Akiko.
Akito. So follow up is a huge slew of a show that I thought was shorter than what it was, and I have to apologize to FD&M as he was trying to point this out to me. And that is Sayuki, the movie. Ooh.
Wait, what?
Sayuki.
Yeah, but what were you apologizing?
I thought that one collection right there.
Oh my god.
Was the entirety, but it was not. So only got season 1 and 2. So that is the movie. The Reload series. Ooh, volumes 1 through 7. Aha. Oh. Then Reloading Unlocked.
Switch over to FDM when time comes.
All right, which I'm not going to lie. If you go after Gunlock, Volume 5 is a bitch to get.
I'm waiting for Sentai or someone to re-release it on SD Blu-ray or something.
I looked up, in one of our tips, or one of the collecting tips that we use is, if you can, try to find a box that'll have like a single in it, and sometimes they'll sell the entirety, which I looked up. And then because I covered Sayuki, I got the Karma Sayuki, which I think FD&M will really enjoy.
Why is that?
Well, I definitely know Brad will enjoy it. Or AC. Then I have DNA Hunter.
The Sayuki.
No Sayuki. I thought it was going to be a City Hunter parody, but kind of glad it's not. And that's all of my pickups. Impatient Brad, what are you going to show?
FDN, you got any pickups?
Yes.
I got
Tomo-chan is the girl. I accidentally bought two volume 6s by mistake. I think it's because in one of the collectors groups, like, what are some really hard to obtain mangas or something like that. And it's like Tomo-chan is a girl, volumes 5 to 8. So I did zero research. I'm like, what? That can't be right. That would have probably just came out. Volume 8's on October, and then I realized, I already have volume 5, so I just need 6 and 7, I guess, for now. So I ordered it in case that person was correct, and it's like, it's by 7 seasons. They didn't release, or was it Masamune Kun's Revenge went out of print before they even finished it. So I'm like, okay, I believe this. I'm going to grab it in case. And then next, we got a lot of Viz this week. So we got Naruto, the second 4-pack of movies, which I just realized that Boruto is part of this pack as well. I'm really glad that this exists because I don't have to buy the 4 movies separately. It takes up less space, has a slipcover and all that. What I don't like is how on the rest of the Naruto and Boruto Blu-rays, they have the little blue band at the top on the spine. They don't for this one for whatever reason, and it looks so off. That's what upsets me, not the new logo. I'm getting over the transitional phase of the logo being new on everything. And then we got the lovely Inuyasha Season 2 Blu-ray. I haven't actually checked if this is native HD or not, because from what I heard, only the first season was made on cell. The second season is, presumably when they went digital, but I'd have to double check because I'm hoping that person was wrong with their information and they did more cell animation, or at least to hope that the upscale's decent enough. And then we got even more Viz with Sailor Moon S Part 2 and Sailor Moon Super S Part 2, which is in rough shape, but I honestly don't care. I just wanted the cheapest one because they're like $80 starting price on Amazon, so I'll get the crappier versions. And that completes Sailor Moon for me. I officially have all of it on Blu-ray, for better or for worse. And then the highly acclaimed, terrible condition Promare collector's edition. You can see the little plastic just coming off. It came this way, but you know how else it came? You know how else it came? I don't think you can see that, but that corner is crushed right in. And if you look even further, it's dented out, like the whole thing is coming out. The book on the digipack on the inside, I don't think you can see it, has a nice crease all the way in the middle of it. Really good stuff there. Oh, and it's got some creasage here as well.
That from Amazon, right?
So
yeah,
I feel like it was worth.
I already got a replacement on the way, but it's just like, how do you screw that up?
You didn't buy that straight from D-Kids, because that would have been fucking hilarious.
It literally came out, and it's in this bad shape. But the thing is, everything else in the bulk packet
somebody
so,
must have seen it at
yeah, that's why
and had the same response that my friend did.
The thing is, Amazon says select your reason or whatever, and I said damaged box okay. You have to specify box okay for them to realize that's on our end. It's not on the
that it's not the post office, right?
Yes, and that is all my pickups.
Do you have any pickups, or shall I?
I do not have any pickups.
You're in 50p.
So I'm pretty shocked. I got Ronja by critically acclaimed Goro Miyazaki
with the critically acclaimed slipcase.
Yeah, so it's missing a slipcase, right? I need to find. Suggestion: Ronja, the Robber's Daughter, the Swedish series, languaged in Swedish, subtitles in English, box set in almost bootleg look, but not really. Also, at your joke, and for the meme, I picked up that super cheap Night Raid 1931 Blu-ray because I previously only had the DVD. Because it takes place in the same year as the Bacano story.
Yeah.
When I was going to my honeymoon, my wife and I stopped by a big bookstore and looked at their anime DVD section, and we found a DVD of Domo-kun. And I saw it again years later on eBay and didn't buy it. And then years after that, I went to look for it just because I might as well finally get it. And I cannot fucking find the one I saw there. I found this one. Apparently, I exist in the Mandela universe where this is the only one that exists. Even though it's titled Volume 1, you suspect there'd be a Volume 2. The picture that I remember being on the front cover of this when I saw it years and years ago was of this sketch where he's like a news anchor, right? So if anybody has info on that, please let me know. It's driving me nuts. I got Seijun Suzuki's Tokyo Drifter with, the essays and stuff in it, as every Criterion release has. I got the Eclipse sets for those things that I got the skinnies of. So the first films of Akira Kurosawa, including Sanshiro Sugata. Remember Sega Sanshiro? The meme. And the post-war films of Kurosawa, right, which is open, so like these fall out. Because they did that great job of, like where you only have the slip cover and not the slip case or whatever. Crazed Fruit, which sure looks like a Criterion collection, right? But for some reason, this is a Korean DVD. Does Korea have Criterion collections? Didn't expect that shit. Made in Korea, right on there. I don't know what that's all about. In English. And Korean, yes.
Okay.
All right. So, I bought something let me show you something else first. I also got this like months ago, but I finally got it from Right Stuff. Toradora with dub.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, is that the sub only? I could have sold that to you for like 0.5 cents.
No, this is the sub only that I bought on my honeymoon. It's weird. I'm buying stuff that I honeymoon related.
Which oddly enough has clear cases.
Yeah. So I legit think this looks like a better set, personally.
It does because of the clear case.
Volume 1 Standard Edition, Volume 2 Standard Edition, Standard Edition Volume 1. These look like bootlegs. Like they got the shitty old, like this has got like a stroke and then a double stroke over the font. You know, it's got like a little star in the middle, different colors. This is just bland as shit.
Bland Arial text.
Now I can watch it in English. Now, something I bought even before that I had resigned myself to believing I just wasn't ever going to find it. Never going to get it. It was out of stock. Volume 8, Talking Silence. I now have the complete collection of it. I'm so thrilled about this. I just woke up and my phone said arriving today. Talking 8 volume. Oh, what? Like, are you fucking serious? There's 15 of them in stock right now on Amazon. So if you wanted to get them, now might be the only chance you get to have a complete collection like mine.
That was a nice follow.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay, and then somebody gave me Blend S, which is pretty cool.
And it got
I got the CD soundtrack that comes with
the opening
Blu-ray. So it has a Blu-ray in here with the CD. First of all, this is a fucking amazing packaging design. You can see it's got like a little frill to it. This thing is fucking great. The way the presentation of it is. Colors are phenomenal. Japan really gets the best stuff. Cake looking shit, like everything is cake. And then the Blu-ray right here, which appears to have the opening. Oh god, that's so small. I can't read it.
They give you a Blu-ray in a CD case when you can't even get a Blu-ray OVA over here for like Attack on Titan.
Well, yeah, well the Blu-ray has I think it's just like a creditless opening and like a song. I can't read it. It's so tiny.
Well, you're lucky someone gifted Blend S to you.
Do people actually watch those when they go into the special features, textless opening, textless ending? Like,
I use them in videos sometimes.
No,
I know it's good for utility, but does anyone like put in a disc?
I mean, when
kick up
in
the
like the
textless
2000s,
opening,
I did,
and then shut it off. Like,
no, not like you watch it like when you're going through all the special features, and then you're done. Now with this. This person,
yeah, but that's the only special features nowadays. So I always just
as
don't
a thank
look at
you. I got something that was still a decent price. So I got with slipcover the 3 Kenshin live action movies, and it looks like this sticker's coming off,
which is probably good. I mean, those stickers usually you don't have any problem with. Usually.
I just don't want it to take off the shiny font because it's covering some of them. Oh, God. Don't breathe.
Try not to cough.
Oh. And be careful with the residue. Oh, you just put it back together.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Anyway, I'll just stick this on my laptop board right here. All right, so I'd love to talk about a lot more stuff and go on forever and ever, but for the sake of the podcast,
we are 2 hours in.
Yes. So I legitimately think there's a possibility that we may want to cut this podcast at a certain point, and then just take all the rest of the articles
and dump them into next week.
And dump them into the next podcast and have 2 podcasts next week. Like, I don't know how that's going to work because we'd have to do one like on Tuesday and then another one on Wednesday, you know, the way that would work because I have to start.
What kind of news would happen between Tuesday and Wednesday?
Well, no, we would take the news that's coming from now until Wednesday and we would put that in the Wednesday one, but everything like after where we cut off today would just be in the Tuesday one or something, just so that we could. I don't know, but it's going to be weird because that's going to be a night podcast, right? All right, so back to this. Quick overview. Media Blaster's Twitter account promotes social justice propaganda. So
I will be back.
Brief Black Lives Matter tweets. In us, we believe Black Lives rights are of this isn't so much that,
I only heard like 2 words
the
of that
social
sentence.
media.
Same here.
Right. So this is why I'm suggesting that we do a podcast, 2 podcasts next week. But anyway, so can you hear me at all?
We can hear you better.
Current.
Okay. So the thing is that what I'm trying to get at here is that anime has been largely infiltrated. Each company has the SJW types in it. And not even a company like Media Blasters is safe from the inevitable censorship and immolation they're going to end up doing. So just be prepared for that. All right. Kickstarter, The Island of Giant Insects, dubbed and uncensored, is at $33,890 US of their $37,483 goal. Still have 18 days left to go, but this ain't looking so good in terms of the trajectory is like really slowing down. I mean, again, they're so close, but if you look at the here, like they so been usually in the last couple days it jumps up, especially because other industry people will kick it like $1,000 or some shit, or they'll just fund the rest of it themselves because $34,000 is better than not having any money. So we'll see. I hope it gets funded because once again, this is like a hilariously bad dub, and I want to hear the whole thing. But yeah, that's the thing. I hope you guys will check it out. I think if you pledge $55, you get the Blu-ray and a thank you letter, digital. And a very real LLC. All right, Chargeman Ken seeks crowdfunding for digital preservation. So we covered this briefly last podcast, and we asked, "What is vinegar syndrome?" So, a form of creation known as vinegar, in which the cellulose triacetate of the film stock reacts with the heat and moisture to break down into sour-smelling acetic acid. If the prints deteriorate past a certain point, no new masters can be struck for them, rendering the original work effectively lost. So they're trying to crowdfund enough money, $56,000 US to inspect, clean, repair, scan, digital restore, and color grade the original 16mm film stock into a 2K digital master that will allow Chargeman Ken to be properly preserved and archived.
I want 4K Chargeman Ken.
Yeah, well, maybe if they get $1,000. So the thing is that they are way over that goal. Thank goodness. So it looks like
thanks.
Sakis will go through the new 2K masters and give us a Blu-ray and perhaps even an upscaled 4K release of this piece of shit show that everybody loves.
Season 2 is better. Season 1 is crap.
How dare you? And you get a shirt. Hard Man Ken.
I kind of want that as a wall scroll.
Okay. So Akihabara Town to be recreated in virtual space for Dojinshi Event Comic VCat. So I want to stop the world and get off this surrogates train here. But interestingly, they're using and all my highlights are gone. That's just fucking wonderful. They're using Virtual Akihabara is recreated model provided by Japanese Zen Akihabara. 60 restaurants and electronics stores that actually exist in real Akihabara Town will line up in a row, offering shopping coupons to the visitors. So you basically get to go into a VR world to peruse the artist alley in the middle of the fucking street. And I like the idea of some asshole like hacking it and getting a truck in there, just running through their stands and stuff. I think that'd be really funny and not at all, it wouldn't even have clipping and send them flying or anything. The car would just like fly through everybody, but it would still be really funny. But yeah, you get your avatar, you go in the thing and look at all the stuff, right? And you can, basically have Comic Cat without actually going to Comic Cat. So now the Neats don't have to leave home for anything. Also, New York Comic Con is going virtual. The latest major convention is shift due to COVID-19 pandemic. Once again, I think we should cut our losses, and everybody should just get COVID. And if you live, you're one of the chosen ones, and if you don't, then we'll miss you.
Well, natural
Let's
selection.
open up the yeah. All right, Desperate Escape begins. A Promised Neverland live-action film teaser trailer. So you can watch the teaser trailer. You can see the video. Also, look how young these kids look, and look at how old the main cast looks.
Wait,
I'm assuming
what?
in the show are they the oldest kids?
The three main are like 11 years old, and then most of the other kids are like 5 or
Well,
6.
Well, they're
certainly look
probably
11.
actually 20-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably in their 30s. The way Continuing. Meet high school girl Bella and humanoid monster Bella live action film. So this actually looks like a pretty interesting movie, and we kind of talked about it before. So here's a little recap. But there you go. Live action film Beautiful Dreamer, based on Mamoru Oshii original story, set for November 2020. Beautiful Dreamer. Mamoru Oshii's original story is set to be released in Japan on November 6, 2020. The title
That's
reminds
not
many
what
people of Oshii's 1984 anime film Urusei Yatsura 2, Beautiful Dreamer, but no direct connection to the anime film is mentioned. Right. It's just, it's like when you have your film and it says from the producers of your name and that kind of shit.
It's like when you have Star Wars.
I want to go to Japan and be there when a bunch of girls show up cosplaying as Loom, or however you pronounce her name, Lum, from Urusei Yatsura. Just watch the disappointment in their face as they leave the theater. Like, she didn't show up at all. I don't understand.
I still want to watch this.
Even
if
the live
it's
action
sci-fi cheesy.
The live action film is directed by Katsuyuki Motohiro. I don't even know what the symbol for Yi is. That's an interesting name there. Maybe that's a misspelled name by. No, they wrote it up here too, but they probably just copied it. Bayside Shakedown and Psychopaths as the first entry from the newly launched experimental film label Cinema Lab, whose concept is director absolutism, whatever that means. Other directors who will join the label include Kazuya Konaka, Ultraman, Mirror Man Reflex, and Shinichiro Ueda, One Cut of the Dead.
No laugh
and
from
focuses. Okay. The story of Beautiful Dreamer is set at an art university and focuses on the struggle of making a script with history.
Oh, I misheard. I thought you said One Cuck of the Dead, not One Cut. I'm sorry.
Okay. A script with a shady story by the members of a film club who have never made a film before. All of the cast members were selected by audition. I mean, usually that's how it works. Is that their way of saying we don't know who any of them are? Here's a picture. This looks like a Nickelodeon
Kids game show set?
No. Like, well, yeah, kind of. It just looks like a Drake and Josh style show. Like, look at our colorful, wacky clothes and people, and look at this really big boom mic and our cheesy, like, obviously fake camera that looks like a microwave. All right, Japanese YouTuber goes fishing with an anime girl figure. What he catches is too perfect. Guess what he catches?
I read it. So
you're okay. This. All right, that's all I'm gonna do because Hero Hey covered this like weeks ago. Because I postponed that article like 3 weeks straight. Class 1A tried their best to survive and posted for My Hero Academia 2-part OVA. This is the training camp or whatever.
OVA, kill me.
Well, we'll probably get this one.
I have hopes for this because Funimation is streaming it. And they did stream the other OVAs, and they're probably going to dub it as well.
There's other OVAs I don't know about.
No, the two promotional images we're looking at right now. Or go back up one. Go back up.
Yeah, you said they're streaming the other OVAs.
No. They're streaming the new OVAs. Go back down one.
What's the old OVAs?
Go down one picture, AC. That one. That's one of them. That takes place right after season 1.
Training of the Dead.
Other one. Training of the Dead, and then Survival.
Did we get the OVA
Do or Die survival training.
They were released with manga volumes in Japan.
Right. So that means we won't get it on physical release because the only time that happens is we'll decide.
But this two we probably will.
So, continuing. Maybe they'll bundle it with the movie that came out, the Heroes Rising.
No.
Crunchyroll sparks outrage by removing 77 Sentai Filmworks shows from streaming. So, like, yeah, basically,
the long
all
short
the
of it is, they obviously want to actually have a reason for people to come to High Dive. So this kind of makes sense completely.
Yeah. So, but the point of this article is people are really fucking pissed. Like, how dare you, Crunchyroll? No warning at all. Oh my god.
Well, yeah.
Anyway.
And
I would
just
like to
solidifies
introduce
our
this thing called
ongoing
DVD
argument.
collector.
If you want the show, if you like the show, put it on your shelf.
Yeah, if you want to keep it forever,
Already did.
just have it. Just have it. I mean, Persona 4 in that picture, that's another story because Aniplex has it. So Sentai can't even sell it. But yeah.
So AT&T is in talks to sell Crunchyroll to Sony for $1.5 billion.
Then they'll have another ugly, like combining forces into one service. Then they're going to separate again, and then it's going to come full circle.
But
Then Amazon will
Sony
buy them. This would be a huge problem for the companies in Japan because they get to drive up the cost of licensing their shows because of the competition. So it's actually better for them if the more services we have because the services have to compete for that licensing agreement. Now, of course, there's also the other hand of popular shows that are held hostage on one service don't get that popular over here, so all the merchandising doesn't really go anywhere because nobody knows about it. So it's a cut and like it's a double-edged sword, right? But anyway, so it says here, there's no denying that Crunchyroll is the cornerstone in the world of anime and manga. Pardon, is a cornerstone. The site millions of users around media, but a company hopes to sell the anime leader to Sony. The information comes from The Information. That's a website where you have to pay to read their article, who exclusively reports the deal is far from certain. AT&T approached Sony about the deal to sell Crunchyroll, and it was a smart move to do so. After all, Sony does own Funimation, which is widely considered the largest anime licensor in the United States. The only issue comes down to cost now. Yeah, and Sony doesn't want to spend a $1.5 billion on another huge liability like their previous purchase of Funimation that blew up in their face, the Vic Mignogna stuff, and the lawsuit that's pending. As the report goes, AT&T is asking for a whopping $1.5 billion for Crunchyroll, way overpriced. This price made Sony balk, according to sources, as analysts say. Like, seriously, like, are you fucking serious? We already have Funimation. 1.5 billion, really? Maybe 1.5 million.
Well, I wouldn't say that because
Sony,
what they have now, 3 million subscribers, and that's like $8 a month.
I wish this wasn't private because I'd like to see the ticker to know what the price is going to inflate to and the price that they want to sell and the negotiations and stuff.
Well, Sony has already declined it, and they've already put Crunchyroll back on the market for $1 billion now instead of 1.5.
Well,
you okay there? Made Sony according to sources, as analysts say, the asking price is far above any other niche streaming service. But given anime's popularity growing in the West, the deal hasn't been shut down entirely by Sony. It's difficult to ignore the strides anime has taken in the United States and globally as of late. Netflix and Amazon have taken great interest in anime, and there are other sites such as Hulu streaming Japanese series. Shows like My Hero Academia and Dragon Ball Super continue to rope in millions of fans, and Sony knows that given its oversight of Funimation, Sony knows this given its oversight of Funimation. Of course, there is the question of why AT&T wants to offload the brand, and that answer comes down to debt. Yes, Warner Media does have significant debt to its name to the tune of $151 billion.
Jeez.
$151 billion. While the CEO of Warner Media, Jason Kilar, is a fan of Crunchyroll, he admits a sale could go down if the right price is attached. Yeah, if you wipe out my entire debt, I'll give you anything. Here's my kid. What do you make of this sales rumor? Is it time for Crunchyroll to join Sony and leave Warner Media behind? Let me know in the comments or hit me up on Twitter, blah, blah, blah. Who gives a shit? Ridiculous. First of all, there's no way Crunchyroll is worth $1.5 billion. Maybe $800 million.
I'd say that would be more reasonable, yeah.
Yeah, maybe $800 million, because how many subscribers do they have?
At least 3 million.
At least 3 million paying subscribers at roughly $8 per month.
So $24 million a month.
Yeah, so that's $24 million a month. That's an investment you could make that would see a return on your profit in 10 years time, and you would utilize it to grow. So you'd be investing more into it to try to do more things with it. You still have to license and stuff. But having the monopoly over Funimation and Crunchyroll, which would be weird in itself, because do you combine the services? It would get tricky, to say the least. I think that Crunchyroll should separate from Warner on its own. I mean, obviously Warner's not going to do this because they need to sell it. But what I'm saying is, if they had bought it out, Crunchyroll would ever be able to do. They really don't manage their money well internally. But if they were able to, that'd be fucking hilarious. Oh God, imagine how much a Sony buy Funimation. Fuck, that would be fun.
Say what?
If Gen Fukunaga took the money. If Gen Fukunaga took the money that Sony bought for, he bought Crunchyroll.
Oh my God!
Fuck, that'd be that would be so funny.
But who knows? I'm still playing around with the idea of a super Toonami, but
Release date of January 2021. Did you guys hear that?
No.
Okay. Gintama, the final movie. Gintama, the final movie, announces release date of January 8th, 2021. Now, before you get excited that this is the final Gintama movie.
They've made so many final movies at this point.
Gintama, the final. And its release date of January 8th of 2021. It will be the franchise's third feature film, following Gintama. The final chapter. Fuck, this connection is bad. Anyway, moving on, just so that I can get fewer tabs up there. The Deer King anime film's release date pushed back to 2021. So we talked about this previously. But what's weird about this is it says here, Toho announced today that the release date for the anime feature film adaptation of Nahoko Uehashi of the Moribito series and Beast Player Aaron fantasy novel series Shika no O, The Deer King, is postponed to sometime in 2021 due to various reasons. The film was originally set for release on September 8th, 2020, but no trailers had been posted, even just 1 month before its release. A new release schedule will announce on Toho's official website as soon as it's confirmed. I thought that was pretty fun. Like, oh yeah, fuck, that's supposed to come out next month. Oh shit, we gotta do something about that. We haven't even put out a trailer. Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel Part 3 Spring Song anime film post spoiler filled trailer before August 15th premiere. So this is the premiere in Japan. I need to pay very close to when this is coming to the States because I need that fucking that stupid thing they did. I need that.
Yeah.
Boys Hit the Beach and Wave Surfing Yappe anime film trailer. So this trailer looks like trash. I was more excited to watch. I mean, look at how fucking awful this looks. I was way more excited with this like guy with cerebral palsy doing the surfing, but I gotta say, pretty sure is right.
We lost him.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm still here.
Okay.
Rip anime
Contrary
collector.
to popular belief, I don't actually cease to exist when the connection gets bad.
Popular belief.
Where did it go? I sent you the timestamp. Was it 110? All right, it doesn't matter. If you guys watch it, you can see it. There's a guy, and he's got like a anime waifu on his board. And it looks like a Dakimakura. Anyway, yeah, so that's a thing that exists. I'm going to move on. The girl invited to the God World in anime film Child of Kamiari Month first teaser trailer. Okay, so that's a thing. You can just know that this is a thing. Moving on. The Yashahime sequel to Inuyasha. Here's a bunch of stuff that they thought was important to show me on Sankaku Complex. So apparently, what's her name?
Kagome.
I forgot her name. Inuyasha's daughter's name. I forget her name. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Moroha or something. Very, very much like her father, apparently, and needs to constantly battle her uncle's cousins, you know. So that's the thing. Moving on. Too long. Robot anime shorts. Just cause. It looked just as bad as Mecha Ude did.
I still see the Yashahime. Oh, here we go. We're back.
Okay. Amahara and Kuyosinjia's Ida 10 deities in the Peaceful Generation manga gets TV anime. Cool Kyosinji. That's such a weird name that you chose for yourself. Anyway, this is getting an anime. Hooray, hooray. Well, you were just demolishing that. B-Star marks for season 2 premiere. That's a big move in that picture right there. Wandering Witch, The Journey of Elena.
Thank you.
TV anime releases adorable new visual ahead of October premiere. The art in this looks fucking amazing for these visuals. Like breathtaking Thomas Kincaid paintings behind her.
The backgrounds look so much more high detail that it doesn't look like the characters.
It looks like a visual novel backdrop, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of like.
See where you're going with that.
The skull like hanging here too. Just
kind of reminds me of that. I can't remember the first name of it, but the Alchemist series from Atlas on PlayStation 2 and 3.
PlayStation 2 and 3.
Yeah, it's not Full Metal Alchemist. It's like Altair, Eclair, something.
Atelier Ryza.
Yes.
Atelier Ryza.
Atelier?
Yep.
Atelier?
Mappa limbers up for original gymnastics anime Taiso's. Oh my fucking god! Can I just say it? Mappa limbers up for original gymnastics anime Taiso Samurai.
Was that so hard?
The art for this, I'm very much enjoying. This kind of reminds me of this like type here. Kind of reminds me of Darling in the Franxx, though. I still like it, but so for those of you who don't know, I was a gymnast, can still do the splits, and that's where I got my big muscles. I once put out a tweet that said something like, "Here's a list of sports anime that haven't been made yet that I would like to see." One of them was gymnasts, I think. Another one was the curling Olympic sport. Bowling. I want to see an anime about bowling. I want to see more animes about golf. Maybe one about skee ball.
Do they have a hockey anime?
No,
I think they do.
I don't think so. I've never
That
heard
looks pretty
of it.
damn good.
There is a few ice skating anime, and never
Yes.
mind.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
Yuri on Ice. It's thrown out the door.
Kyoto Animation returns for Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid S TV anime
Yes.
in
Sweet.
2021. So the S stands for 6.
Yeah, of course.
She's finally
But-
going to get with Kobayashi.
By the way, we kind of already knew this was confirmed when they said that they salvaged all the projects.
So here's the normal key visual,
Yeah.
and then there's the social distance version.
Oh, they modernized the series. How dare they modernize a series that is depicted for
So yeah, the
today's
S stands for social distance. Stay home.
I fully expect when Funimation releases this to have the main visual on the slipcover and then this visual on the cover sheet.
Oh, good.
I
limited
fully
edition
expect
box
that.
with a mask inside.
That's going to age so poorly. If they do it.
Yes, it will. What's on what's this character's name again?
Which one?
The lolly one? Okay. I forget her name. I remember her name's Toru, and I don't remember any of the other characters' names. Which is weird to me because the only character I liked was
Well,
Lolly
there's Clutch
Chan
and
and
Claw.
the cute-gasm girl.
Kana?
Ooh,
Ah,
you
Kana, is that her name?
Kana's
Yeah,
the
Kana's
girl.
her name.
The white girl.
Uninai. Thank you.
Promise Neverland exhibition unveils newly drawn visual for December 2020. Okay, so I've just got to say, yes. Yes to this artwork. That's fucking insane.
I
it
hope,
looks in
detailing is-
144p.
I
So I
really
don't
hope that
appreciate-
this makes its way into the final volume so that we can get to read it over here in the States.
Yeah, so please don't 45 mile per hour ask author. Great.
So when are we
so-
gonna do that? So when are we gonna do Promise Neverland for the Watch Club?
Bye. You make like $100 a week because of my promotion. So I buy an Aniplex title weekly now. New Black Clover character based on and voiced by Snowman's Daisuke Sakuma announced. Okay, time we've covered a character that was made for Black Clover based on a real person just as. Have never, so I don't know what to say.
Just basically taking Cameo to the next level.
Yeah, food gets in the fight spirit. Doskoi Sushizumo TV anime. So it's basically a bunch of sushi as sumo wrestlers. I'd watch it.
Be right back.
I would need to see a promo.
Hold on.
I'm digging the art, but I need to see how it's going to be portrayed.
Doing what?
5 seconds. She runs out. I hear like screaming, and then Eli's like, "Mom, Chloe stuck a screw in a light socket," and I'm like, "What?"
Did she get shocked?
No, he pulled her out of the way and we brought everything. And she's like, "I'm sorry." She took the screw out of the bottom of the broken chair and she stuck it into
The power
the
strip?
power
Oh,
strip,
yeah.
and it was on, but she stuck it on the bottom one so it didn't arc.
Yeah, because that's for the grounding.
Yes.
Ay. So my kid almost killed themselves just now.
Grounded, not grounding.
Sounds like you need those little plastic plug things.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the entire power strip. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Or you should have the power strip that like slides over, so you don't have to buy those.
Attack on Titan, the final season composer, says music recording was on its final day. So, hype, but also concern. As I feel like they got a lot to cover.
Yeah, that's more. To look
I
forward
mean,
to.
there's a lot of songs that get recycled throughout. So, I mean, they probably don't have as much as you'd think.
You can pretty much put the cut counter up every time my screen share picks off like that. So yeah, not more to look forward to. Final season. I don't know what you want from me. When I read it straight and it doesn't come through. There's so much more in the manga, and they only have one season left to do it in.
Oh, that's
Is
what
it
you
going
mean.
to be normal runtime, or are they
also
going to do
a
hour-long episodes? What
do you think? Ikitosen Elfen Lead Studio Arms declares bankruptcy. Credit research company Tokyo Shoko Research, we've covered them so many times, reported on Tuesday that Common Sense, the official company name for the anime studio ARMS, has declared bankruptcy through the Tokyo District Court. The company had filed for special liquidation on July 22nd after deciding on that course of action through a shareholder meeting on May 31st. The company was founded in 1996 and initially focused on outsourced animation work from Pierrot, as well as producing a collaboration with Pink Pineapple and Green Bunny. The studio produced adult anime under the ARMS name, as well as various other names such as Dandelion, Triple X, Garyu Studio. It began producing its own television anime, beginning with Yasuomi Umetsu's Mezzo in 2004. The studio was perhaps best known for its Elfen Lied anime, based on the Lin Okamata manga, as well as the Queen's Blade and Ikitosen series. The most recent entry in the Ikitosen series is 2019's Ikitosen Western Wolves original video anime project. Some of the studio's other notable works include Samurai Girls, Genshiken 2, Brynhildr in the Darkness, Aesthetica of a Rogue Hero, Maoyu, which I definitely would not have guessed was from the creators of Ikitosen or the animation studio, Wizard Barristers, Benmashi, Cecil, and Valkyria Drive Mermaid. The company officially changed the name from
first episodes looked really good.
Say what?
The first episodes of Wizards Barristers looked pretty
Benmashi
good.
Cecil. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. So that's sad. They're filing for bankruptcy, but bankruptcy doesn't mean that you don't exist anymore. It could be a bad assets that aren't helping you and holding you back.
If there's any company Anime Works to prove it wrong.
All right. AI GAN project from I did 5 seconds. AI GAN project from Wuhan students turns photos or videos into gorgeous cinematic anime visuals. Okay. So they're using what do you call it? Machine learning, multi-pass sampling, or whatever that's called. Can change landscape in into a anime backdrop while retaining. Now, some of this goes back to our AI is taking over anime thing, on the idea that you don't even have to draw shit or in the tool belt, but it's getting kind of scary how effective it's becoming, especially that they can sample it through the styles of different people, right? So opinions may vary, but personally I've always just more or less into a slice of pie as Hayao Miyazaki in Kiki's Delivery Service, or walking through the searing sunlight of Makoto Shinkai's picturesque offerings. While the late Satoshi Kon's content is less peaceful, there's still something hypnotic about the swooping scenery and dreamlike aesthetics. This is presumably why films from all three creatives were specially selected to train an AI program to convert photographs into anime-style art. Oh god, I can't pronounce any of these. Ji Chen, Gang Liu, and Xin Chen, students at Wuhan University and Hubei University of Technology, worked together to produce Anime GAN. GAN, I don't know how you pronounce it. It's generated adversarial network is what GAN stands for, by the way. A new generated adversarial network, or GAN, to fix up issues with existing photographic conversion into art-like images. As in their original thesis, manually creating anime can be laborious, difficult, and time-consuming. Who's got time for that? So having the option of converting photography would reduce workload and maybe even inspire more people to try their hand at producing anime. Yes, who doesn't want to take a picture on their phone and hit a button and say, look at this thing I drew? All right, so here's the photograph. And here's the the drawing version of it. Now, obviously, the trees look like ass, right? Those are going to need some work.
You're always going to have to paint the happy little trees.
But even though it's largely a Photoshop cutout filter, being applied more deliberately. So here's how it looks when it's put through the Hayao filter. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't see this as a Hayao Miyazaki thing, but perhaps the image isn't fantastical enough, and that's why it just looks like some drawing of a bus. So August 6th saw the release of Anime GAN 2, which has been improved in various ways. The library of images the network draws upon to create a new interpretation has been updated with a host of new Blu-ray quality images. High-frequency artifacts have been reduced. Furthermore, it has allegedly been made much easier to create by the team in their original thesis. I need to get this so I can just put all of our thumbnails. Where the network really shines, contrasting the Anime GAN's network for existing state-of-the-art AI, it's apparent that some aspects of the photographs, trees for instance, or windows, are smothered and blurred so much as to become unrecognizable. Anime GAN not only retains these finer details, but takes less time to do so, as long as it's been adequately trained. Now, I hate how fucking small these images they're trying to show me are. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, so this is the Shinkai style. This is the Paprika Satoshi Kon one. And this is the Miyazaki one. Now, this actually legitimately is too detailed for Miyazaki, but it looked just the top. Do you have any thoughts?
It's in 144p.
Take that as a yes. You've got so much. This looks like ass. This cartoon one. Comics looks like ass too. Anime looks better, but
still a hint of ass.
The trees look. All right. Okay. The best part is that you can test a version of the first Anime GAN right now with no need to download any additional software. This doesn't allow you to differentiate between the three filters, but it still makes for a pretty cute photograph in its own right, as seen here on my beautiful and photogenic cat. I must admit, I can't help but wonder about the naming of the filters. Obviously, each one stands for the image bank it was used as a resource. Hayao is sourced from Hayao Miyazaki's The Wind Rises, while Paprika is from Satoshi Kon, some of the same name. So from Makoto Shinkai's Your Name make up the Shinkai version. While alternating the choice of director's given name, surname, and the film title is artsy, it does have the unintended effect of muddying both the clarity of the connection between the three filters as well as the credit for the film's directors. Still, since the network is apparently easy to train, there's nothing stopping people in the future from making their own Kon, Totoro, or Makoto filters. Heck, maybe you could even render reality in the pastel pigments of Sailor Moon if you fed it enough images. The sky, and indeed your own photographic skill, is the limit. So it'd be fun to play with that if we could find something like distinctly, like a photo that is distinctly our podcast, not one of our thumbnails necessarily, but like a photo that screams this podcast. We should run it through that filter and just see what we get. Maybe the Avi Krishna Agi holding all of the Shonen on Mionjis or something like that. Thought that could be fun. It'd be fun actually. I should just run the filter on my picture of my panoramic picture of my anime collection. See what that looks like. Anyway, we'll come back to that at another time. Also, a Bollywood filmmaker named Shiv Panikkar launches an anime comic book called Gone Case. Now, I want to read you part of this at least. I'd like to read the whole thing.
It looks like it says Gone Cage. Nick Cage.
It sure does. And also, I love how like squashed and stretched this image of him is. And it's an anime style book, but all yeah. Oh, it's annoying. Okay, right? You guys can hear me?
Barely.
I will take that as a yes. Shiv Panikkar, a seasoned producer, director, and screenwriter from the Bollywood industry, recently launched his first ever graphic novel, Gone Case, a horror mystery comic book that Indian audiences would be able to relate to. Because living in India is a mystery, a mysterious horror, right? Anyway, we can read this another time because obviously things are so bad right now. You know, I'm going to put this in another tab. I'm going to pull this up to the other window. Any article that feels like we're skipping it just because, I'm going to put on another window and revisit it later. Seven Seas licenses Ryoma Kitara's Super Hentai Zeros, or however that was pronounced, manga. So
yeah, the Funimation anime that falls within their standards.
Right,
that one. That time I got reincarnated as a slime spinoff, Ways of the Monster Nation releases in English. Hooray! Bleach Chite Kubo's Burn the Witch spinoff gets weekly shown starting August 24th. Also, look at this fucking mouth.
I can't.
It would just be all of us doing that face. You know what I'm talking about?
I can't see the fine details, but I see
fine details.
I can't do it. I can't even make face. How is she doing that? It's like the upper lip so high, yet you don't see any of her gums.
Wait, do the face again, Brad. I need a pic for the thumbnail.
I already have the thumbnail. I made it already. You've seen it. It's the one with Reese in the raincoat.
You need to add it to the thumbnail.
That's what we're going to put in again, right? Okay. Azokin manga artist attacked by Westerners for following lolly Pixiv accounts. Guys. So disgusting. Behavior of Westerners.
The nerve.
So the manga for Azokin Niwa Te O Dasuna, or the one that would be way easier to just put keep your hands off Azokin. Don't touch the lollies. That's what the title is. He's not an advocate for lolly. Was recently vilified on Twitter for daring to follow artist Soraka, the usual naturally being of twisted notion. The artist that Sumito Owara, the mangaka in question, was following, were said to have created erotic 2D illustrations and photorealistic 3D CG depicting underage characters, with one person claiming that one of the artists who supposedly drew 2D versions of real-life children. So I guess that's this. Like, this is a 2D rendering of Fukuhara Haruka, a famous actress who was on the show Cooking Idol I My Main as a child. I My Mine? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so basically that's the whole story, except for the response. The response here is, this is what the Azokin creator, writer guy said. And it's very broken English. I followed 3D modelers with no intent to hide that fact because I believe it could be good for reference material, and I was certified as a pedophile from abroad. That's all the information. It makes me feel uneasy. The kind of impression it gives is that so? I seriously don't understand. It seems photorealistic work in 2D are treated differently. There are many things like this, but I usually don't talk about them. Things like this usually go the route of, how do you explain this? I have no excuse, but I don't know is the only thing I can say. I don't care, though. Honestly, if you follow this certain Arrow mangaka, then you're like them too, is the kind of impression I get from this. The conversation is ended. I'm going back to Tsushima. like, fuck you, I'm going to play video games. I was attending a public elementary. So yeah, this is the thing. The mangaka likely brought about their own end, however, when they previously shared how they went school. That's whole sentence got out there, so I'm not going to read it. It says that I attended a public elementary school. There were Japanese, Chinese, Koreans, Armenians, Brazilians, Egyptians, and Nigerians. Those are normal. Various colors, religions, and various names. I don't know nationality by name. I know no nationality by skin color. Some Japanese have dark skin. Some Japanese have white skin. They were all unrelated to us. Everyone was friends. Google Translator. Yeah, so anyway, they're like, oh my God, he's so gross. He follows people on Pixiv. And then apparently he unfollowed them recently. So anyway, don't care. No victims. I mean, if you can prove that one of these artists like had anatomy style studies, you know, like where they have the nude model and stuff, and like probed and prodded some underage girl, then yeah, like hang them high, I'm with a noose is what I'm trying to say.
String him up, string him up, string him up, string him up.
Yeah, hang them high for some reason sounded like I was saying like lift those fuckers up. They're great. Yeah. No, like hang them, like literally hang them with a noose. I think just electric chair. All right. Fairy Tale Panty Shots censored on all platforms after day one update.
Boo.
So this is the world we live in. This is the fucking world we live in, where you get a trailer that has an upskirt, and then the day the game comes out, they patch that upskirt out of the game. What's the purpose of having it except to sell you on false advertisement? Sega will release more ports of titles both old and new. Due to the vast success generated by porting Persona 4 Golden to Steam, the company will now release more ports to both Steam and
I hear exciting news when you cut in.
I know, right? Should we just stop now? Like, why is the connection so bad for me? It's the thing is that it's not even getting better as I'm closing more tabs. You know, I can close these tabs because they're not supposed to be. Surely that's going to help. Let me close this one too because it's important. All right, I'll try to get through this. I don't even care anymore about what I was talking about. Sales are stronger than they expected. We're considering ways to sell under favorable conditions for each title. Among them are measures such as preparing PC versions for titles from the beginning with multi-platform releases in mind.
Yeah.
Games industry will one day turn entirely digital, says Strauss Zelnick. No fucking doubt. I don't even want to read it. Take-Two next-gen game prices will increase selectively, as per Strauss Zelnick again. So he says that it's going to depend on the game whether or not we choose to raise the price. I'm telling you, game companies can't afford to continue to make games with higher and higher fidelity as they're doing. It's going to get way too expensive. Games are going to get shorter and all that. Capcom is considering raising the price of its next-gen games. You should. Games should cost at least $80 to $90 from now on for AAA titles. Otherwise, they won't be able to make them anymore. They're going to hit that market cap where there aren't enough people to buy their games to fund the mission of making it. China banned thousands of unauthorized games after launching real name verification. So following the implementation of a restriction preventing people from indulging in video game sessions deemed, quote, too long, the country government has finally rolled out a real name verification system, strengthening its control over both the industry and the populace. The restrictions are enforced with the justification of protecting minors, limiting their gameplay time to 90 minutes on weekdays and 3 hours on holidays. In order for those limitations to be enforced, China has also introduced a real name checking system with the help of the conglomerate Tencent and internet technologies company NetEase. By the way, fuck Tencent. And also, we're probably going to go to war with China in the next month or two, just FYI. Young gamers have been usually find methods for circumventing the stern verification system as well. They'll go to the extent in Minority Report of getting their eyes transplanted. Anyway, so basically, because they're trying to make sure you have to use your own name, they're banning games now and all that. Continuing.
Oh.
Japanese schoolgirl, older man's. Thanks to the. So this guy kidnapped this girl. The girl. She. Fucking hate this. Shall I go reset my router?
Probably.
Yeah, go do that. Go do that. All right, Reese, what do you want to talk about?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
Let's see. Well, we're going to talk about this next podcast or second podcast, depending on how this goes.
Watch Club.
For the Watch Club, I released a video today about what we're going to talk about. Episode 1 comparison with episode 1 per Green Line's request, which it's up right now.
Green Line 743.
743.
You must remember our Lord and Master's name.
Finally knocked out Evangelion, the TV series. I remember watched like 3/4 of it, but not all the way, so I sat down and rewatched all of it. Knocked out 12 Kingdoms, which that was very good. If you want to know how the war strategy feels in Legend of Galactic Heroes, towards the end there when they're going through a war, spoiler, there's a war, the tactics are quite the same. That was surprisingly really good. So right now on my own, I'm deciding to go ahead and finish watching Line Barrels of Iron. Bacano was a very pleasant surprise.
I'm surprised. I haven't seen. I watched that on Sunday all the way through, and I'm glad. I'm just gonna say, I have not seen it in like maybe 4 years or more. I'm glad my impression has not changed whatsoever.
Good. You can tell the creators read a lot in order to pull that kind of story up.
After that, I finally got around to reading the newest Dresden File book. I don't know if you probably haven't. Have you heard of the Dresden Files at all?
That's that podcast that reads stories about Cthulhu and stuff like that?
No, the Dresden Files is a book series.
Okay.
It's about a professional wizard in Chicago.
Okay.
So I started reading that series back in high school. I think at the time only book 9 was out. This newest one that just came out this July, there hasn't been one in like 5 years. So I was like, oh, sweet. And apparently it turns out the author, instead of he intended only to write one book, but he ended up writing 2, just because where it leaves off on this newer one. So, but the next book is coming out in September. So that's all. So
as awesome. You read it, as you read the book, can you tell if the author is having fun creating these situations?
He's in fantastic. This is like book 17 or 16 or 17. So he's grown over time. Like the first couple one, kind of rocky with it, but he owns this character. I mean, it just flows perfectly. It's phenomenal.
So, how come a lot of people who like the Dresden Files keep wearing a black shirt with purple on it? Okay.
I mean, there was a sci-fi series, TV series, but it only lasted for 1 season. So
typical.
Yeah.
There was a sci-fi back in, I want to say 2004, 2007, somewhere around there. They did I thought it was good. They did a TV series of Flash Gordon, which didn't last long. I think it was lucky enough to get a 2nd season. Next video I'm going to work on is Beyblade.
Beyblade?
Yeah.
I don't envy that. So, I think my next venture is, I'm so far behind on the stuff I want to like. I've got a list of stuff that I own and I haven't watched my copy of. but I've seen it before. You know how that works. I watch it online. Yeah. I want to at least watch my copy of everything I own, just to like make that purchase worthwhile.
Oh yeah.
So I'm still like I'm still not even a third of the way into like on the third part 2 collection 2 or collection 3, and like it just drags on. I will maybe watch one episode. I with the intention of watching the whole disc. I only end up watching maybe half an episode.
This was the Mill Creek.
So I'm planning on watching that, and maybe I'm planning watching like maybe one disc of that the next day or two, and then Attack on Titan Junior High.
Okay.
Since I watched that as it aired, but I haven't seen. I got it back in January.
I remember that. So with Sayuki, there's only one thing left from the legitimate series of that hasn't come in, and ironically, it's the one from Sentai Filmworks, which I really thought when I got that complete collection, it had everything, because I thought it was just one of those action shonen AI shows that lasts like 12 episodes per season. I did not expect it to be this big. Yeah. So I was wondering why FD&M was questioning me quite a lot when I talked about that box set right there. But well, live and learn.
Yep. So
let's see.
How long do you think it takes to reset a router?
Not that long. It might take, depending how old the router is, it might take 10 minutes maybe, but 5 at most for much modern ones.
Yeah.
Green Line 743, rewatching Slime myself for the first time.
And the first
Monthly
time
Girls.
watching for the first time. Monthly Girls like.
So sounds like he's having a very fun time.
Yeah. I love Slime.
Oh, me too.
I forgot about in Rising the Shield Hero the skill of taking things and combining it together.
Oh yeah.
That was brought in at the very end of that, near the end of the series or first season. That was basically all of Slime. So it's that same concept. I thought it was hilarious.
I'm hoping the next Isekai Quartet at the end of season 2, they hinted a third one. AC is saying his router's not working. Now it's working.
No, just came back. At the end of the chat, but not in the
cameo.
Where'd FDM go? FDM, answer yourself. Answer the question, FDM. You're in the chat.
Let's see. I finally completed all of Energize. If you recall, these VHSs. This is the one I was missing, Volume 2. Still looking for AWOL, but I'm not going to say which volume I'm looking for. It's kind of funny with the resellers on that when they're claiming Volume 5 is the most rare, but it went from like $200 to $20. So
jump with the iron's hot.
Yeah.
I did notice, sort of offhandedly, somebody was saying, "Oh, when's the Cowboy Bebop movie gonna come back on Blu-ray?" But like, they just did a release, didn't they? I was surprised that the steelbook release for the movie that Funimation put out is already out of print.
Yeah, if it's popular, it sells.
I'm surprised about that. I think the last time I saw it was like $99 or something.
Dang.
What?
How many P's am I?
Reload Res.
Yeah, $99.98 on Amazon. You can't even buy it on Red Stuff anymore or Funimation.
Dang. I wonder how many copies there were. Typically, it's like a 3,000 count per run. But
you're still worse quality than...
You're like Windows 95 streaming.
Okay, so audience, tell me now, shall we cut this short? Would it be worth it to just end it now? I'm skipping this article. Skipping this one too. I'm done with this. What do you guys think? Should we just push some of these to next podcast? I think at this point, like the thing is, literally today, I don't know if you guys can hear me okay, but literally today I checked the articles for all the things, and it's like, oh, really? The mangaka who got arrested wanted to make something about junior high school girls peeping on old men. That's news. Okay, we got to talk about that. You know, it's like where literally, I don't know, I guess it's because it's Thursday. All the spicy news comes out on Thursday because they want you to talk about it at work on Friday and then carry it over.
Yeah.
Over through the weekend. Hey, see,
it's always how it is. So I want to know from the audience specifically, because I don't know, the connection feels fine to me because the latency freeze. If you want to do this later, it's fine. Still want to know about the panties though, and I'll take a look at Augie's video later. Seriously.
Thank you.
We set up a very specific watch club specifically for this, and you fuck it up by doing that. Why? Why would you do that to us? Why can't you save that for the discussion on the podcast?
Because I was already filming it. I even said that when you talked about it. Besides that, y'all have
conflict of interest. Oh, that's great. I look as good as I do in that. Okay. All right. So let me jump ahead to I've got two articles to cover so that the thumbnail makes sense. We're going to have to talk about the Lupin thing.
The panties in the Gundam?
Right? Yeah, I'm getting to the Gundam right now. Okay. So, screen share. Japan's new life-size Gundam is complete and standing proud in Yokohama. Shinto priests bless the 55,000-pound anime robot's head in Jotoshiki ceremony. Let me refresh. These stupid fucking pictures to load. God damn it. Oh my god, you're killing me here. Yokohama is Japan's second largest city, and being just 20 minutes south of downtown Tokyo also makes for an easy half-day trip for people from the capital. A number of sightseeing attractions are clustered around Yokohama's scenery, such as a Ferris wheel, seaside parks, and as of a few days ago, a full-scale version of seminal anime robot Gundam. Pictures of it. If only it would load. Let me see if I can do this. Open image in new tab. Can I just do that? Can I like force it? Image there. All black and everything.
Enter the darkness.
All right. Well, we've also got. Fuck. My internet wasn't that bad for me. I don't know why it was only affecting StreamYard a second ago. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So these are stills from the documentary that was released. So you get to see stuff. Hopefully you get to see the Shinto priests. So they put the head on after they blessed it. And then they've got this section on how the can, because remember, this is so the reason my internet is so bad is because of the sandstorm. Just FYI. Oh, dear God. Okay. Kickback. Load. Fuck. Why not? Hey, got it. Okay. While out and about in Yokohama, we spotted the giant robot standing proud on the Yamashita Futo Wharf. Based on the brand new Gundam Factory Yokohama complex, based at the brand new Gundam Factory Yokohama complex, the life-size RX-78 Gundam, the granddaddy from which all later hero mecha in the Gundam franchise can trace their lineage, is 18 meters or 59 feet tall and weighs 25 metric tons, roughly 55,000 pounds. In the planning and developmental stages since 2014, external construction of the mecha was finished on July 29th with a Jotoshiki, or a head installing ceremony, in which Gundam's head was blessed by Shinto priests before being hoisted into the sky with a crane and secured to the unit's shoulders. For the workers seen here, this is basically history's most awesome Gundam model building session. The Yokohama Gundam is actually Japan's second full-scale RX-78 as a life-size statue of the original Gundam previously stood in Tokyo district before being replaced by the RX-0 Unicorn Gundam. However, the Yokohama RX-78 will boast an ability neither of its predecessors could/can. The ability to move. Inside the outer casing of the Yokohama Gundam is a mechanical skeleton that will allow it to use its arms and legs. I hope it strikes really cool Captain Ginyu style poses. Unfortunately, the coronavirus situation has caused Gundam Factory Yokohama's organizers to cancel an early sneak preview of the center that was planned for the summer, but the facility is still scheduled to have its grand opening sometime in October. All right, so pictures that have hopefully loaded by now. So you can see like this old timey like Yokohama wharf stuff, and like there's all this stuff about what I said before about the anyway. Oh, this was too good, but I can't talk about it now. I'm going to save it for next podcast. All right. Worn Pantsu exhibition YouTube channels, possibly a new fad. Here you go, Greenline 743, Lord and Master. The internet's ever-vigilant watchers have stumbled upon what seems to be a craze amongst a certain sect of women, as multiple channels dedicated to showing off recently worn pantsu have been spotted, with some women going so far as to expose their humiliating stains, if they are actually genuine. Only a handful of the shameless videos parading around the used pantsu. The thing that's funny about this is that they're saying pantsu in the article, but the actual videos are right, easily earning the accolades of fetishists who enjoy unsightly stains. So there you go. There's the explanation behind the thumbnail. I know you stayed for 3 hours just to find out what it was. While such a concept,
that's how you get your watch time. You tease it and you don't tell it till the end.
While such a concept would surely cause perverts to flock to such channels, it seems they can vary greatly in view count, as some channels have only a few thousand at most, whilst others possess videos with well over 100K views. Have people gone so low as stains?
Oh, are people so low as to fake their stains? Yeah. Just to get views, you know, they have the stains on their art clothing articles, you know.
Okay. I don't know why you did that to me. There we go. So there's the varying view count, right, of all these. And surely there's a lot of them. Surely those struggling are desperate to learn the secrets to the success of those more revered channels. So there you go. There you go. There's the podcast. There's the podcast thumbnail. I would love to do thumbnails like that every week, but it takes an absurd amount of time. And I'm sure whether or not they actually boost watching. So tell me, if you found the podcast because of one of the epic thumbnails, which one was it, and shall I continue? And I will, of course, make very real legal documents for your enjoyment further in the future. So There's more stuff we could talk about. 62 in a vacant lot, but I think maybe we'll just say that's Times article, and I don't want to risk it. U.S. South Korea envoy Harry Harris shaved off his controversial mustache. How much of a cuck? And your name is Harris, and you have a mustache, a hairy mustache,
and beautiful mustache. A beautiful mustache.
The most controversial mustache in South has become the razor's blade, with U.S. Ambassador Harry Harris visiting a traditional barbershop months after his facial hair became the object of unusual criticism. So in Seoul, first, we just read that. Seoul and Washington are security allies, and the U.S. stations 28,500 troops in the country. Why the fuck do we have 28,000 troops in Korea? But their relationship has been strained in recent years by differences in their approaches to North Korea and over cost-sharing responsibilities. Harris has several times been the object of controversy in the South and accused of high-handedness. I'm sorry. When you say high-handedness, you know what comes to mind? Which in this case, I think might be what they're going for.
All because of a mustache.
Even an issue of Joy's mother was Japanese. Tokyo's 1910 to 1945 colonization. Get over it. They're still fucking because we colonized them from 1910 to Jesus, that was like 50 years ago, 70 years ago now. Get over it, Korea. Hashtag mustaches don't care about your feelings. Commenters claimed the mustache alluded to the fashions of imperial governors, generals for the period. You would be even funnier. Fuck, I should have put this in the thumbnail. What if he shaved his mustache into Hitler's mustache?
You should save this article for next podcast.
All right, I shaved. I no longer resemble the Japanese governors. Walks out stage right on, gonna see him. What? I did what you want. In January, Harris retorted that his grooming was a matter of his picking. He said, I did this. For me, it was either keep the stash or lose the mask. No! Lose the mask! Wait a minute. Shouldn't it be lose the stash or lose the mask? Summer in Seoul is way too hot and humid for both. COVID guidelines matter, and I'm a masked man. Enjoyed getting to know Mr. O and appreciated his heartfelt words about how much he values the USROK alliance. All right. With help from his senior advisor, Sikimzi, USAMBROK, Harris visited a classical local barber to become a little cooler. Yes, a little cooler with like a fucking electric razor. That's a classical barbershop if I've ever seen one. Curious about how it went? Yes, I am. Let's watch. I need to see this video. That's the thing I'm going to need to see. I don't know if I'll put it on the podcast. But over the weekend, he uploaded a video to social media of him getting the mustache shaved off at a traditional Korean barbershop, saying he did so to keep cool in the Seoul summer while wearing a mask to fight the coronavirus pandemic. Bro, wear a hazmat suit with like a fan inside of it. Don't cater to the big time socialists in Korea. Augie hasn't been here for enough of the lore that I'm dropping on this episode. Glad I did this, blah, blah, blah. We basically already read this. Anyway, so that's the sad news. Sorry to end on such a sour note today. My action has improved, though. So, like, do we just try to go for broke and start back at where we left off? or does my connection sound as bad as it always did? And do I look like one? Because I look like 145p right now. When I look at it.
You're coming in. You're coming
You're
in
good now.
Okay.
But
in that case, I think that I will just try to continue because I still too.
You're losing it. You jinxed it.
Yep. I see tweets. You see him.
Fan's not moving.
Fan's not moving.
So in that case, I think we should wrap things up and go to this
we left
the
off
next podcast.
So when is the next
Reese,
podcast?
would you wrap things?
Well, Reese, next podcast, I guess, will be at X time, at X place. Oh, you missed the chocolate.
Okay, goodbye, everyone. Thank you for coming. Sorry, this was a disaster.
Subscribe, ring the bell, join our social media.